Doesn't that sound nice, Terry? Doesn't that sound hot?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Oh, making love in the club? Sure.
A little risky, perhaps, one might say, but making love in this club. Doesn't that sound fun? When are you going to do that with your husband? Come on.
Yes, no.
You do that in your 20s. When you're single and you have no responsibilities, you have all this independence, and you just have your fun days for years on end, all through your 20s. Make love in this club. Do what Usher is advising. Everyone should give it a whirl. Terry, what are you going to do with your husband? Come on. Yeah, that's so hot. Terry Free was reading us an article entitled The 5 Myths. What was the title, Terry?
5 myths about cheating.
5 myths about cheating. And it's not any kind of particular cheating. It doesn't necessarily mean cheating on your husband, your wife in a marital situation, your boyfriend, girlfriend in a non-marital situation. It doesn't necessarily imply heterosexual little relationships or homosexual. It's everybody, right, Terry?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any specifics as far as who they're pinpointing this article towards, right? This is cheating in general.
Yes.
5 myths about cheating. People have these uncertain little beliefs about cheating, and they want to set the record straight. And myth number 1, just for reminder's sake, Terry, was...
Men cheat more than women do.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We discussed that. I remember now. I actually literally forgot during the break. But none of them, you promised me, is that you're going to feel guilty. That's not a myth. That actually, they believe, is something that may be in place. It may be in play when you decide to go out there and cheat. You actually may feel guilty about it.
You think?
All right. Well, it depends on the individual.
Right. That is true.
Number 2. The number 2 myth about cheating is... according to this article, is... affairs
are mostly about sex.
Affairs are mostly about sex. That's a myth.
That is a myth.
They're not mostly about sex.
No.
They're partly about sex, but they're mostly about something else. So what are they mostly about?
Well,
Does it say there what they're mostly about? You have to figure that out for yourself?
Well, it says that sex isn't always the reason that
it's about
people
that girl's
cheat.
big jugs over there.
Wow.
Oh,
By the way, if you
How can
haven't...
I say no?
That's what it's all about.
Speaking of big jugs, check the Terry Cam chat room.
What's that? What's that in the Terry Cam chat room?
A lot of big jugs.
Really? Who's got big jugs in the Terry Cam chat room?
Big Jug Tuesday.
A lot of cleavage.
Well, let me put my new... I'm going by Cheatin' T-Man, the Terry Cam.
But anyway... They say that
you want to
hear about this?
6 feet and ready to cheat.
They say that affairs are basically just ways for people to get something that's missing from a relationship. And if sex just happens to be that thing, then sure.
Oh, jeez.
But it's not always the reason. It's not always...
See, now I get it. This is an article targeted towards women. This has nothing to do with men.
That's not true, because there are plenty of men who may want to get just sex.
There's something missing in my marriage.
Right.
Not about just sex. That's not the reason I'm straying on my wife or my girlfriend. It's about filling the void of what's missing in my relationship, and I can't get that from my girlfriend. I can't get that from my wife, so I got to go out there and find it elsewhere because I can't live without that missing piece.
She never asked me about my day.
Believe it or not, men actually do like it when when their wives or girlfriends take interest in their lives. And we've talked to men who feel neglected. Not just on the sexual...
Could care less.
Whatever.
I stuck a guy from Iowa today with a plasma grenade. It was awesome. You would have loved it. I was so good on Halo. My wife doesn't care.
She doesn't care what Hotshot did on Halo all day? You think she cares about his Halo conquest, Terry?
I was driving the Warthog for seriously 5 minutes without dying. It was awesome.
Oh.
Doesn't care.
That is quite the accomplishment. That is quite the rewarding day you had there.
Plenty more to come. Probably one today, actually.
So, cheating on your significant other isn't all about sex.
Right, not always. I mean, but if sex is what you're missing, then you cheat because
of
that.
About.
Right.
Yes. Number 3. The number 3 myth about cheating is...
If if they cheat on you, they don't love you.
You can be very much in love and still be a cheating bastard, huh?
Sure. According to this article. However, I do disagree with that, but that's...
Baby, I couldn't love you any more than I do. Oh, look at her. Wow. I couldn't love you any more than I do, but I got to go right now. Oh, jeez. Because she may not be able to be found anytime soon. Gotta strike while the iron's hot.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how's your iron?
Give you the flat iron today, baby. Wow. Wow. So you could be very much in love and still be a cheating prick, huh, Terry?
I guess so. According to this little article. I disagree with that, but...
That is a myth that if you're cheating, you're not in love.
Right.
All right. Myth number 4.
If they have a history of cheating, they'll probably cheat on you, too.
That's a myth?
That is.
So he could have this history of being a cheating slime ball,
right?
But now he's met the right one for him, so he's going to completely immediately call to a halt his cheating ways.
Correct.
Well, I think this article is very misleading now, Terry. I think it's doing a disservice to the community. I think women should be aware, especially the ones who established a relationship through a cheating situation. Believe it or not, still these days, a lot of women marry the men that they stole from their girlfriends. They establish a relationship in a complete cheating environment, and yet they feel like, well, he's not going to cheat on me, though. And this article would kind of fall right in their laps as far as making them feel confident that they're not going to be cheated on, even though they are well aware that the man that they are going to devote their lives to has a history of cheating. I think you're more apt to find out the hard way that once a cheater, always a cheater.
Oh.
But there are exceptions to every rule.
There are.
You have any history of being a cheater yourself there, Terrence? Yes or no? All I'm looking for is a yes or no answer. And you know if you don't have to think about this. Either you've cheated on someone or you haven't. You haven't forgotten
have cheated
about
on
it.
somebody, yes.
You sound a little bit restless in answering this question,
I just
Terry.
answered it. I said, yes, I have cheated on somebody.
Wow.
Yes.
I knew you were in your own little Filipino way.
She'll be back someday.
Wow.
She's living the facade right now, or she likes to call it the facade. But
Today
she'll be back.
may be the day.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be back someday, Terry.
Yeah.
Is today the day? Who'd you cheat on, Terry? Mrs. I'll tear up his bed with a knife and rip it from limb to limb. Who did you cheat on? I thought you were the one who was the victim in this role, Terry.
I have been, yes.
I mean, it's hard for me to really feel sorry for you as the victim and feel like you had a real leg to stand on and knifing some dude's bed for being a cheating bastard on you when you were a cheater yourself back in the day. I don't remember ever us talking about a situation where you cheated on someone.
Well, actually, I think we have because and I know that I've had this conversation with Hotshot before.
Isn't he? I don't remember being a part of this.
And I think, I don't know.
Actually, private convo.
No, I actually think we may have brought it up sometime in the past. But when I was separated from my first husband,
it's probably boring. I wasn't listening anyway.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yes.
And waiting on the divorce become final, I was dating. So I don't consider that necessarily cheating. But I remember Hotshot saying, "Well, you were still technically married, so you are cheating."
No, that ain't cheating. I think there's something better. I think there's something you're holding back on. I think you got a more prime example of you and cheating in your life, Terry, that beats this. I think you're throwing that out there to try to get yourself off the hook of you admitting that you're a cheater, and you're throwing an example out there that everyone's now going to fire back at you. Oh, Terry, don't worry, you didn't cheat. That's not cheating, because that isn't cheating. If you were just waiting for the ink to dry, if you were just waiting for the ink to dry on a divorce that was absolutely in the works and you were moving on with your life, then obviously anyone with a functional brain in their head is going to realize that those are mitigating circumstances that allow you off the hook. But I think you threw that out there to get yourself off the hook because you have a more explicit example of cheating that you don't want to give us.
No.
And if you do, you better come clean right now.
I don't.
We won't be able to work together in any honest fashion from this minute forward unless you come clean and air your dirty laundry right here and now. Here's your opportunity. You have a better example and you know it. I feel it. I feel it!
Okay, give me a better example.
I don't know. Do you have one?
No.
Oh. I thought I could get you to break.
No.
You don't have one?
And quite honestly, I think that when I swear we had talked about this before, because I basically argued with Hotshot that wasn't cheating, and he's like, no, it is. You were married, blah, blah, blah.
I feel like you have something else.
You know that's not cheating.
Yeah.
You're throwing that out.
You came out real tough.
You want us all to say, oh, don't worry, Terry, you didn't cheat. Oh, I ain't buying it.
No.
You got something you're holding back.
I don't.
I don't believe it.
She's been holding something back all morning.
All I got to do, Terry, all I have to do is get motivated to do a little investigation.
Investigate all you'd like.
All I have, don't challenge me, Terry. All I got to do is get inspired to do a little investigating,
okay.
And I might find out that you are lying.
But hey,
I might not. But I think I might.
I think that if I was really quite the cheater, especially as public as my life has been, it would be out by now.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Let's welcome to the studio.
Believe me, I think that the people who are not the kind to really respect
a little bit. You sound
what
worried,
I do.
Terry.
He's starting to stammer.
Yeah.
What about you, T-Man?
One thing. Oh, I've cheated.
Oh, have you? On girlfriends and stuff?
Yeah.
What do you
One
think?
thing. I'm a big cheater.
Oh,
I definitely have cheating in my blood. I have to keep it in check at all times.
Really?
And I realize the best way to keep yourself from cheating.
Yeah, I'm listening. Hold on, I'm gonna get a pen.
Is not to, when the moment comes down to, jumping all over it, you have to keep yourself out of the situation way ahead of time.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
If I return that email from that girl on MySpace, once the ball starts rolling, I can't stop the momentum of those balls, Terry. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm. Once the balls are in motion, Terry, you can't stop the momentum. So you have to keep yourself out of situations that are conducive to cheating. You got to keep yourself out of if you're really motivated to keep yourself from that.
Sure.
Like my dad used to say, it's hard to be rational in an irrational situation.
Wow.
Throw myself in the wrong situation, and believe me, I am a guy who gives into temptation like this.
Oh, I'll just do it once. It's cool, just one time.
But no one will ever know.
Right.
But Terry, and one myth that is very clear about cheating, one thing that is not a myth is that women will never give up their info. Women will never give up their info, no matter how hard you press on them.
Wow.
No matter how hard you interrogate. Terry Free is proving that myth right now. I'm not saying she has info, but if she does, she ain't giving it up right now. She ain't just going to lay it out for me because I'm interrogating her right now.
It takes more than that for Terry to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a night at the Olive Garden, at least.
All the breadsticks you can
D. No,
all the breadsticks you can eat. Are you kidding me? She's taking her clothes off right there. Jumping in the minestrone soup. Okay. Anyhow, are we done with the myths? Are we through 5 myths, or are we?
I have one more.
Number 3 or 4? What are we at? We're done with 4. We got one more.
Yes.
The last myth on cheating is:
if there's no sex, it's not an affair.
Terry, we've gone over that ground too many
cheating.
times. I'm not going to start talking about emotional cheating again. Emotional cheating is the biggest bogus lie.
It's not.
People are all guilty then. If emotional cheating is something that you are accountable for, then consider us all guilty, because there's not a person on the planet who hasn't envisioned themselves with another person, whether they're actually having sex with their girlfriend or boyfriend at the time, or their husband and wife, and they start visualizing themselves being with somebody else. We are all guilty.
I'm doing it right now.
So don't start telling me the whole world is now one big guilty little pool of people. Don't, because if you're convincing me that emotional cheating is cheating, then nobody's innocent.
Well, believe me, I think there are levels of the whole emotional thing. You can go ahead and have friends and probably express certain things, but when you actually, become exclusive with somebody from the opposite sex where you're sharing really intimate details and you know when you feel something for someone emotionally,
Terry,
then you
there's
are
flirting that
cheating.
goes on.
Sure, flirting is one thing. That's a whole different ball game.
That's emotional cheating. If you're flirting with someone, you are letting your sexuality start to come out from the inside, Terry.
Flirting?
And you are... Well, you tell me where to draw the line. The line is so gray then you can't tell me that this is okay, but this isn't. If you're going to tell me emotional cheating is cheating, then you can't tell me that there's a defined line that can or cannot be crossed right about here.
But I think you know that flirting, you can even have a flirtatious personality, and that's not emotional cheating.
All right.
Flirting is one thing. Yes, you can flirt with somebody and then take it to an emotional cheating situation, sure.
You want to have it all the ways that work out so you can be free of guilt. You know you're one of the big flirters around the office, Terry.
You want me to have it all, don't you?
You kind of sashay around the hall.
Yeah.
What's up, girl? In your little 5-foot way, Terry. After the show's over, you go talking to all the sales boys.
I do.
What you got here?
Terry
Free vitamin water? I'm taking a case.
Terry wants to have it all her way so she can feel like she's the greatest person on the planet and be completely innocent of all wrongdoing.
But isn't that the theme of today's show? Having it all? Didn't you just say you wanted everyone to have it all?
Well, it's very easy how you manipulate yourself into having it all, Terry.
I don't have it all.
Mm-hmm. I see you after the show, and you're little laughing at the non-funny jokes by the stupid sales guys.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Touching
really
them on the
funny.
shoulder when they talk about a potential endorsement deal that they can get you.
Oh, I love your little chest.
Oh, you're so funny. I'll take 5 appearances this month.
I'll make it 6. One at your place. 1-866-663-T-Man is the number to call. That's toll free. 1-866-663-T-Man. Melinda's been waiting forever to come on the air. You're on the air, Melinda. Hello.
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 Hello, good morning. I
baby.
just want to say that there's a little problem with your waiting till 30 to get married deal.
How you do it, baby?
Huh?
I said, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing good.
Are you emotionally cheating, T-Man?
It depends. Am I flirting or emotionally cheating? I don't know the difference. Apparently you do. You'll have to tell me.
Well, I don't think you're emotionally cheating. I think you're flirting. That's one thing.
I don't even think I'm flirting. I think I'm just being stupid. What's up, Melinda?
You're just being seedy.
I think that your theory on 30 is wrong. I think by the time that you're 30, I know too many 30-year-olds right now that cannot find no one to marry.
Because they're old maids at 30? Is that your feeling?
Well, actually,
is that what has you rushing into...
They're not even 30. They're like 28.
And in your mind, they're old maids that have missed their chance on being able to marry someone? Is that the panic that causes women to feel like they need to get married in their early or mid-20s? Is that what has you worried, Melinda? Is that why you think I'm wrong?
Well, I'm married,
What's this Morse code I'm hearing? Are you hearing that? Hold on. Be quiet for a second. No one make a sound. I want to hear something. Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Melinda.
Well, I think by the time you're 30, all the good guys who haven't been out partying and doing nothing for themselves aren't worth marrying. So all the good ones who have taken the time.
Listen to the fears. Listen to her worries. Listen to her panic that's going to cause her to miss out on her fun years, Terry. And going out and just tearing it up like you should do in your 20s. Going out without any worries about who you have to be accountable for. Going out and just having a real fun time as much as you can and making sure you get that in the bank in your 20s so that you can actually be a responsible person in your 30s and live a happy life with someone that you actually fall in love with. Listen to her, worried that she's not going to be able to have anyone fall in love with her because she's too old, and this is the panic that's going to cause her to get married in her early 20s, Terry. Listen to her and realize what not to do in this world.
You're wrong.
You're wrong, Melinda, but you can agree to disagree with me.
Am wrong. Maybe I am wrong because I have been married since I was 18. But
wow.
I know a lot of people getting up there that
we all envy you, Melinda.
Deal with their kids and
Melinda.
Yes.
I bet you wish. I know you wish Not saying that you, if you have kids, regret having the children you have and not feeling like everything has just been a complete disaster, but there are some do-overs you wish you could have in this world. I'm sure you realize that already. How old are you, Melinda?
I don't because all the women that I know that are getting to their 30s agree that my life is way better than theirs.
With those crying kids in the back?
I promise you.
How old are you, Melinda?
27.
27. And you've been married since you were 18?
Yeah.
And you have kids to be responsible for, and you've had them for some time, is that right?
Yes.
Melinda?
Yes.
I'm glad you feel the way you do, because it would be a shame for you to be all depressed about your life, and you have to have some defense mechanisms, and you have to make the best of the way your life has turned out, and I'm glad you're happy. But I don't think you should be sitting there advising people to do it as I did. I don't think you should be sitting...
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I know close friends of mine that are hitting the 30 and they're lonely. They're not going to find no one soon. All the good ones are taken.
All the good ones are taken. Okay.
Yep.
Until all you need to find is one, Melinda. All right? All the good ones are taken until you find one. And yet women get a little panicked as they hit the big 3-0, and maybe that's the time when, panic is rightfully due to set in. But all you have to do is find one good one. One real good one. You don't have to find a whole slew of them. If you had to find a whole slew of them at age 30, that might be a difficult task. All you have to find is one. One right one. So don't tell me that this panic that women should have in their 20s is justified. Not in this day and age. Maybe in the 1950s. Maybe in the 1960s. But don't tell me that's the case now. Maybe that makes you feel better to think about, well, I have my guy, and I don't have to worry about things like these women. Maybe that makes you feel better, and that's good. You need that in your world, Melinda. And I want you to feel happy and not have no regrets. But that's not the way it is, Melinda.
Or if you're someone that lives in a small town, you might feel like it's kind of slim pickings, Now, do you have a MySpace, Melinda?
No.
So I want to see your hot, married, motherly 27-year-old ass right now. That's what I want to see. You don't have a MySpace? Oh,
no.
Man. She's an old woman, Terry. She's a 27-year-old who might as well be 57. Do you hear that? She doesn't even have a MySpace.
Wow.
Melinda.
Yes.
Melinda.
Yeah.
Have a good day. You deserve it. All right. Take care. Poor Melinda, Terry.
Oh, no.
MySpace? What's that? I don't know. I'm not familiar with this. What's MySpace? I got to go. My kids' noses are running. Terry,
yes.
I'm glad she's a good mother. I'm glad she's content. If she really, truly is, I hope she truly is. I'm glad all about that. Don't do it like Melinda did it. She'd be the first to tell you that. If she's really, truly having an honest moment. Daniel.
How you doing?
You're on the air. What's up?
What's happening to you, man?
How are you, sir?
I'm all right.
I got six people on hold from your hometown right now.
What's that?
Go ahead, sir.
I got something to say to Terry. Did I hear you say earlier that you think you can cheat but still be in love?
No, according to the article, it says that if they cheat on you, they don't love you, and that is supposedly a myth.
No, I'm asking your opinion, though.
I do have issues with that. Yeah, I don't believe in that little myth.
What are you getting at, Dan? You believe that if you cheat, you're not in love? Is that your feeling on this?
That is completely my feeling on it. I honestly think that people who cheat but claim they're in love, they're not really in love.
Right.
They're in love with the idea of being in love.
Oh, that's a good philosophy there. But they truly don't believe in, they don't really know what love is. Because I'm a firm believer of, no, I'm a firm believer that if you truly love someone and you found that person that, is your end all, then nothing, even though you have temptations, which are every day or whatever, it's not worth the sacrifice. And you know that it's only going to be a moment of satisfaction.
I'll give you that if you cheat something... I'll give you that if you're cheating, that something is definitely missing. I'll give you all that jibber jabber, but I am not going to disagree with the article in its insisting that if you cheat, it truly means that you're not in love. I believe that a lot of people that are in love just have, for whatever reason, this need to go out, and I mean, it's not necessarily natural. We're an extension of the animals, and animals have no ability to be monogamous. It's not necessarily natural to be monogamous. You got to work hard to be a monogamous person in this world.
But it's not natural for humans to hump animals either, just so people know.
Hopefully, as a civilized person, we're more civilized than the animals. As a civilized society, we have an ability to rise above and be monogamous, even though it's not a natural state of being.
There's some girls have attacked like an animal, though, I think. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
And at 10:01, it's
jeez. But that's the thing.
Daniel.
You're right. We are along the same lines of the whole animal thing, but...
Are you a married man in Vallejo, Daniel?
I'm only 18, man.
Wow. You're only 18.
I've had 15 girlfriends, and every single one only lasted 2 weeks long. So.
Oh, so you're really speaking from experience. Okay, thank you for the call. I appreciate that. He knows every time he falls in love, he never cheats for those 2 weeks, Terry.
No, I'm so faithful, dude.
Go.
He's been very faithful for all 14 days.
So easy.
I don't know why everyone talks about how hard it is to be faithful. It's so easy to be faithful for 14 days. Really speaking from your vast experience with his 15 girlfriends for the average length of boyfriend-girlfriend time being 14 days, Terry. It's not hard to be faithful. Thank you for the call, Daniel. Not really. 1-866-663 T-Man. Let me sneak in Gabriel really quick. Yes, Gabriel.
Yeah, T-Man.
Yes, sir.
How's it going? I have a quick question.
Yes.
All right, check this out. I'm a delivery driver, right?
Huh?
And basically there's this girl that I deliver to, and she's smoking hot.
Must deliver the package.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, right on time.
He just answered your question, didn't he?
What's the question, Gabriel?
I just want to know. I want to know how to come at her in a professional-like way, and if she denies me, it wouldn't be awkward to see her again.
Well, since the theme of the hour, given Terry's article, is the cheating mode, are you involved with anyone? Are you a completely single man and have no responsibilities and allegiance to anyone right now, Gabriel? Just for the record.
I'm involved with somebody.
Oh, geez, come on.
You're not a married man, but this woman on your route is so freaking smoking hot that all bets are off pretty much in your relationship. You're not a married man, is that right?
No, I'm not married at all.
All right, he's got a girlfriend, Terry, but this girl on his route is so off the charts that he's got to do something about it. You understand that, right, Terry?
Oh, jeez.
What don't you understand? Gabriel has a regular route.
Wow.
Is she a regular stop on your route or what?
I swear, just 2 weeks ago we talked about, who was it? Oh my gosh. A woman cheated on the guy and I said, oh gosh, but it wasn't okay for the girl to do that. It's okay for a guy to do that because you just got to do it, but it's not okay for a woman to do it.
Terry, the man's not married.
It doesn't matter. He is involved. He's going to hurt somebody.
I don't know what situation you're talking about. I don't even know where you're coming from. Unless you remember the specific example, I'm not going to buy this. Anyway, tell me about this woman. Tell me all about her.
All right. Well, she's pretty young. She has a very nice body. And
favorite compliment.
They always do.
Well tanned. And yeah, she's just smoking.
And she's a regular stop? How often do you see her?
Probably about every other day.
And have you, advanced? How long have you been, going on this stop where she's at? For a couple of months or longer or what?
Just for a month.
A month. And have you advanced, the conversation? Have you, checked to see if it's on or what? Have you, kind of felt her out a little bit before feeling her up? Have you felt out the situation and feeling whether you got an in or not or what?
Exactly, yeah. Because every time I deliver to her, she
get the signs.
She has a big smile on her face, and she's always
Oh, you know what that means, Terry? Equal smile, ready to go. And Daniel thinks, and Gabriel, you think what are your options? You're thinking about asking her out. You're thinking about making it a little bit more blunt and quick, or what's your game plan?
Just getting a number and probably letting her get to know me a little bit more.
And what are you going to do?
Are you willing to take her out? Are you willing to, like, do a happy hour thing with her? What are you thinking? What are your options?
A nice little date.
So you're thinking about getting her number and then, inviting her out for, cocktails and appetizers, or what? Is she worth a full dinner? What are we talking about here?
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. That might be the way to go.
Can I ask
Get her number. She gets off. She probably has a desk job, right? She does a little 9 to 5 thing. She gets off at 5. You could be there to meet her out, do a little laps and cocktails, and you'll be knee deep in it by 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, but how would I ask her for her number without making it kind of weird?
I think you just ask her. I think you just come out and ask her. Say, let me get your number so I can call you. We can go out for, a little happy hour thing.
How dare you?
I'm raising my hand.
You deliver packages.
What happens if she gives me that old boyfriend line? Oh, I got a boyfriend.
Well, you have a girlfriend, don't you?
That may mean that she's not interested. You may have to just accept that as she's not as interested as you thought. If she gives you the eye of the boyfriend, you have to just move on with your life, dude. I think you got to take
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, she may not have a boyfriend if she says that, but it just may mean that she's not as interested as you thought she was. But I have a feeling you may not get that. You got to take a shot. She'll probably, don't ask her when people are around. Try not to ask her when she's looking like she's busy on the job.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, the next time you're in, her presence and she's, having a moment where she's by herself, just quickly ask her for her number, tell her you want to do the happy hour thing, and you take her out for a couple of cocktails, throw those down a chat, and before you know it, she gets all loosened up and she has an excuse to get all freaky, and you're in.
I'm raising my hand.
Terry's raising her hand.
Jeez. Been raising my hand. Okay, I remembered. I know, but I remembered whose relationship it was. It was Shaquille O'Neal and Shawnee O'Neal, because she was put in this position and she had to cheat on Shaquille with the personal trainer. And
she had a husband who was on the road earning to support the family as good as a man could possibly earn out there.
Right.
You're gonna equate this situation to Shaquille O'Neal's wife?
Yes.
Is that what you're doing?
Because
is that fair?
Yes, it is.
You think that's a fair analogy to equate this situation?
This guy is in a relationship. This guy is
5 kids with that woman.
Not all 5 were from her. 4 were from her, and 1 was from a previous.
Then it's okay then. I'm sorry.
No. But what you were saying to this gentleman is, hey, the girl, she's smoking hot. How do you turn it down? Come on, he sees her every other day.
Gabriel, women like men that are pretty blunt and direct, all right? Women like men who have the confidence to just come out and ask them. So you ask her for a number.
And I like yours.
How do you think your girlfriend's going to feel about this? Oh, that's right. You don't care about her feelings.
Like yours.
Because we're not married. Sure. So screw you, girlfriend, because I'm going to screw the hot chick.
Can I please turn
Make it sound pretty casual. Don't scare anything, but just make it like, hey, wouldn't it be cool? Just let's get a meet up for a happy hour thing, and get her number, and before you know it, you call her a few days later, and then a week later you're out actually wherever doing the drink thing, doing a couple of I don't know, kind of appetizers, chicken skewers, and then a few hours later,
I love chicken skewers.
You're giving her your skewer, all right, man?
Yeah, it ain't no chicken.
Gabriel, let me know how it works out for you.
Right on, brother.
All right, buddy.
Jeez.
Gabriel's in.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Unless he blows it, Terry. This is very blowable.
All right.
It's a very delicate situation. Gabriel and her got the vibe thing going, and
he thinks he's got the vibe thing going.
It's very doable, but he could blow it very easily if he goes about it the wrong way. This is a very delicate situation, but he's so close to sex with her, he doesn't even know it. I think he does know it, but he doesn't know it.
The T-Man Show.
What a fitting song to end with, Terry. The Good Life. That's what we've been promoting all day, baby. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I do.
All right. That's all?
Yeah, good life.
There are a lot of people that have been waiting a good long time that I feel bad that we're not going to be able to... Well, I got a couple of seconds here. Let me go to Rachel real quick in Oakland. Rachel, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, just real quick, I've been with my husband 5 years. When we first met, though, he had a girlfriend and I didn't have anybody or whatever, but I ended up having sex with this dude, when I was with him, in the first week, and my husband just actually found out about it, and he's hella pissed off, but I don't find it cheating because he had a girlfriend, and we weren't really together.
All right, 30 seconds is up. Kevin, the super trucker, you're on. Also in Oakland. Go ahead, real quick, go.
Hey, man, I got to say this. Eli for the crash and burn, man. The reason why you for the crash and burn, because you never get with anybody, any female between the ages of 21 and 28 scratch it, man. They haven't learned life yet. So when you get married at that age, man, he going to crash and burn on the field. And I guarantee you when he crash and burn, they're going to blame it on his marriage.
It's really a shame, Kevin the Super Trucker, that Eli Manning's all that he has laid at his feet is being wasted on Eli Manning, isn't it?
I feel like this. Every day, I know a lot of the Raiders, man, because I live in Oakland. I'm a big Raiders fan, Black Hole inductee. And I'm going to tell you something right now. All these young guys that play, all these young guys, they already said, man, they're not going to get married because they know they're going to either cheat or they know it's not going to work. And when you're that young at 21, 22, 23, you happen to experience nowhere near what life is. You don't know about making some serious business decisions, but I can tell you one thing 21 to 28 want to do, get married and get pregnant real quick.
Now, someone could say that that's a sign of a cynical person saying, well, if I just get married, I'm going to cheat. Actually, one could more likely intelligently say that, yeah, that's right, intelligently, that it's a sign of maturity, Terry, that he's aware of who he is and where he's at and what he doesn't want to be about. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the good life.
The T-Man Show.
Yes. Hey there.
Hey there.
What's going on? Nice to see you. What's happening on this little hump day action? What's happening there? Hump day action?
It's hump day action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All ready for it.
Yes, it is. We are indeed ready for it, whatever that means.
Let's hump away.
I know you're a big hockey fan, Terry. A lot going on last night. San Jose Shark, Game 7 win, Terry. The New York Rangers going in the second round against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Sharks now playing Dallas. Anytime you can beat a Dallas sports team, it's always fun, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the primary last night. Indeed.
Oh, I know.
Is Barack Obama starting to seem like he's the equivalent of the NCAA Memphis Tigers, that they had it won, they just couldn't close the deal at the end of the show, or what?
I don't think so.
And Hillary's the Kansas Jayhawks who keeps creeping on in and taking this thing, or what?
No. I don't know.
How come he doesn't win anymore? How come he doesn't win Texas and Ohio and now Pennsylvania? He can't win a state anymore.
Yeah, I know. That is true. But, it's not over till it's over.
Oh, well, so it was supposed to be over. That's the point.
Well,
Hillary was done. Everyone was saying she was done except her.
He seemed a little overconfident for a while there, though. Kind of lashing out at her. I don't know how she can come up, say that I should be the vice presidential candidate when I'm the one leading. Those kinds of comments.
Well, that is kind of a good point, though, don't you think? That why should she be saying he's the vice presidential candidate when he was leading?
Because nobody's won yet. It's stupid for both of them to say that.
Well, maybe they can...
Leading obviously doesn't mean you win it.
Right.
Maybe they can find some common ground on a little hump day. And all the little conjured-up videos I see on YouTube could actually come true. Anyhow, it is indeed, as we've now said a number of times, a Wednesday hump day situation, which means, Terry, I like to take care of relationship issues on this day. Hump day equals the day for lovers and lover spats, and
sure.
I get a lot of emails a lot of times saying, T-Man, I listen early, I'm not able to listen late, and you don't take enough calls early, I never get to say my piece.
Right.
Well, maybe we'll take a couple of relationship issues early if there's somebody listening who wants to straighten out some situations and may need a little advice in doing so. If that's the case, if you're an early morning listener and for some reason you're not able to listen to the show later in the day and you're one of the ones who've been emailing me saying it's unfair that we don't start taking calls till after 7:30 usually, well, if you have a relationship problem that you need a little advice on or any situation that needs to be addressed, no better day than a hump day, would you say? No. Okay.
No better day.
So, we will come back. Don't you think that's good advice, John? Don't you think that's a good way to go about this?
We've got to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Hump Day Wednesday. Calls go at 1-866-663-TMAN. Of course, on Terry Cam at www.thetmanshow.com.
What's the deal, Terry? Let me ask you this.
Back.
Whoa.
Not yet.
We'll be back.
Is John's favorite person in the whole wide world is gay phone operator on Terry Cam right now? Yes or no?
Phone operator, kiss my ass because he asked you for
take it easy. I'm not asking you. Yes, he asked me for a flat panel TV.
No, I said he asked you for a flat panel TV.
That's what I said too, so we agree on that. Is he up there right now, Terry?
I actually haven't logged on to Stickcam yet.
Because I will tell you this.
Yes?
T-Man, since he asked you for a flat panel TV, can I get a TiVo?
A TiVo.
It would be nice.
It's Christmas come early for the dysfunctional family members.
To the program over the last 10 years than Gay Phone Operator has.
Well, we didn't even know you 10 years ago, but that's fine. If you do the math, maybe John has been a greater contributor than Gay Phone Operator. I mean, Terry sounds like that groan says it all, that she doesn't agree, but these are issues we can figure out during the course
on Hump Day.
Of the
what were you going to say before John interrupted you? I'm dying to know now.
Well, you know what? Let's have Terry log on, and we'll come back, and you remind me, and I'll tell you what I have to say, all right?
Got it.
I got a lot of things we have to do today. We'll come back, we'll get things started right over these words.
The T-Man Show.
Controversy for America's sweetheart, Miley Cyrus. This photo of a teenager bearing a striking resemblance to the 15-year-old superstar is sweeping the internet and raising questions about Miley's squeaky clean reputation.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. And there's one thing about playing around and maybe somebody catches you playing around.
Right. Yeah.
But that's the trouble with the world we live in today with the internet and the web and everything else.
The Associated Press ran this headline. Is that Miley Cyrus flashing her bra on the internet? Her publicists have not returned our calls seeking comments.
Yeah, we'll get into this a little later, Terry, as far as this Miley Cyrus picture, all provocative, laying around in her slanky little lingerie. Who was that woman who was doing that commenting in the middle of the story there? That's not Kathy Lee. Is that Kathy Lee Gifford? I was about to say. Is that Kathy Lee Gifford?
Yes, she's back.
Well, I know she's back, Terry, but she should be the last person talking about being disappointed in somebody. All right? She must have a very short-term memory. The person whose husband was caught on tape seducing big, busty, blonde-haired women.
Oh, yeah.
Shouldn't be talking about how she's disappointed in somebody else, especially when she stayed with that man and still is with that man, Terry.
Right.
But I'll get into that later.
I know. I can tell. Getting into it later.
How does she have the audacity?
What happened to later?
Yeah, what happened to later?
There's no laters with me.
I know.
How does she have the audacity to say she's disappointed in Miley Cyrus? How does she have the audacity to say that she's disappointed in anyone that has any kind of scandal going on? And this is such a minute scandal as compared to the one her husband, who she stood by through watching him on videotape, Terry, at the time it was videotape, and watching him making all the 5-star moves on some dime store hoe, Terry, and she's talking about how she's disappointed in Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That was Kathy Lee Gifford? Is she nuts?
You can't be disappointed in someone the rest of your life now because your husband's a bastard?
You have no right to say into the cameras that you're disappointed in anyone, especially in this kind of circumstance, unless it's something that goes beyond what your own husband did. Okay. You can't be talking about how you're disappointed, unless it supersedes, unless it's more of a grotesque or higher act of immorality. You have no right to be talking about how you're disappointed in anyone else when you stood by your husband when he's laying all over in a hotel room with some triple E breasted blonde that he met on a plane. Do people even remember that happened? Kathy Lee went away for 7 whatever years. It seemed like 2 seconds, and now she's back already. And she thinks people forgot about the fact that her own husband cheated on her with a huge jug blonde, and she's talking about and she doesn't break it off. She stays with him and defends him, and she's talking about she's disappointed in Miley Cyrus. Unreal.
Star is sweeping the internet and raising questions about Miley's squeaky clean reputation.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. And there's one thing about playing around and maybe somebody catches you playing around.
Right.
Unbelievable. The hypocrisy. Unbelievable. You have no right to be disappointed in anything. That's the answer to your question, yes. Hopscotch, hot fudge, hot shot, whatever your name is.
It's not her fault, though, that her husband did that.
It's not her fault, but she didn't. It's not like she would have a little credibility if, when her husband did what he did, if she was disappointed enough to say, well, I can't stand by you. You cheated on me with the most low-rent-looking skeezer blonde, big-jugged, breast falling out of her bra-looking hoe.
Well,
I mean, if she at least would have called off the marriage, people would say, well, she couldn't do anything about it, and she did the strong woman thing, and that's respectable, and you got to have respect for her for that, and therefore, if she wants to make comments about being disappointed in other people, then she can speak, but that wasn't the case.
Right. Well, but the other thing, too, in her past, did she not take Frank Gifford originally away from his first wife?
Perhaps.
Wasn't
I don't
she
know.
the other
I haven't
woman?
followed her life that
I think
closely.
she was years ago.
I just remember him being with a blonde about 20 years younger than him in a hotel, thinking, way to go, Frank, and what a doofus Kathy Lee looks like. And now she's saying she's disappointed in other people. I'm not talking about this now.
Yeah, we'll wait until later, right? I'll
talk about this later. Right now, I got people that need to speak on the line, and people are thinking I'm getting so engulfed in this subject that they're not even waiting on hold. The early morning callers who have been begging me to take calls early on, here I am, and can you wait 5 minutes?
No.
For me to have a moment here before I get to you? Yvette, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
How are you, baby?
I'm all right.
1-866-663-T-MAN. Is that the number? Yeah, 1-866-663. Why did that sound right? T-MAN is a toll-free number that Yvette called and anyone else can call that has any early morning issues to discuss. Yvette, are you calling about a relationship problem that you need solved? Because if you are, you couldn't have called a better number. Not only will I repair and fix and solve any problems that you have, but we'll do it free of charge. The Good Doctor, yes, for those emailers who wondered, does come in early in the AM and will address and take calls from people who listen only early in the morning and can't listen later because their bosses won't let them. Go ahead, Yvette.
Well, basically, I was with someone for about 3 years, and about 8 months into my pregnancy, I decided to break up with him because I couldn't take the inconsistency in his part.
And you owed it to your child. You owed it to your unborn child to have a little consistency and allow the child's life to be started off on a footing of territory where there's going to be some certainty in your world and in the child's world. And that's why, in a respectful, one may say, fashion, Terry, unlike Kathy Lee Gifford, she saw the signs. She saw something that didn't sit right with her. So she stands up tall and moves on, Terry. There's something to be said about that. You understand?
I do agree.
Yvette?
Yes.
8 months into the pregnancy and 3 years into a relationship, some might also say that's kind of interesting timing to pull a ripcord.
Well, I was just getting tired. Of him. We decided to have a child because supposedly that's what he wanted, that's what I wanted. And then during the pregnancy, it was just completely the opposite. It was like he wasn't around.
Sometimes guys just say that because they want more sex out of you, and they don't think they're actually going to get you impregnated.
No, I gave it to him whenever he wanted.
For 3 years, for the entire 3-year relationship, or 2+ years that he had been with you, anytime he wanted sex, you were there at the calling? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I can say that there was times that I wanted it, and he was just like, God, you know?
There were some times you wanted it that he would say, no, I'm too worn out. But anytime he wanted it, you were right there ready for a grade A performance.
Yes.
Wow. What a woman. And when the baby actually starts to become a reality, all of a sudden he starts acting weird. That could be translated as him getting cold feet and starting to feel like the walls are closing in and feeling smothered and feeling his freedoms are being closed in on. And you sense him acting peculiar and you don't need that in your life at that point, and you decide to walk. Is that how it all shakes out pretty much?
Exactly.
Is there anything I missed?
No, I also knew that I found out that, again, he was talking to one of his ex-girlfriends, which nothing happened.
Anyone's entitled to talk, right? But something tells me Yvette has a feeling that they may have been doing a little bit more than talking.
Right.
If you found out that it was just that, if you found out that it began and it ended and it was just talking and they really weren't considering getting together on any kind of level and they just were, talking about things that they have in common because they're still friends, would that have been okay or no?
Well, that's fine, but he was always very,
sketchy.
Secretive about it. You know what I mean? If I found out about it, it's because I happened to,
right, well, it sounds like
with it that I ran through his phone.
It sounds like you saw a lot of red flags. It sounds like you saw a lot of flare shooting off in the air. Now, where do you stand with your child now? The child is born or what?
Yeah, she's 9 months old.
She's 9 months old. So why are you calling now, 10 months after you decided to move on from this guy?
Because he continues to, even though he has another girlfriend or whatever, he continues to tell me that he's trying to get things together to still be with me. He still wants a family, yada, yada, yada. And it's like...
Well, Terry, the question is, can that be taken seriously? Could he have gotten the cold feet that she picked up on, the signs she picked up on were correct? And is he entitled to that little moment of time and then be excused from it because, hey, any man, it's kind of human nature and somewhat natural to when it actually becomes a real circumstance, you get a little scared and you're entitled to your period of nervousness, and now he's gotten himself settled in and he wants to have her forgive him for that moment of uncertainty which stressed her out, and she should give him a second chance. Is there something to be said about that, yes or no?
I actually think that he's just trying to get in good and he's still kind of a weasel.
Well, why? What was his motivation to say, I want to be with you again now? Why?
Well, because she admits that throughout their relationship, she suspected a lot of different things, right?
Terry can't give a man a break.
Well,
Terry
actually,
can't give a man a moment.
No. Are you going to let me finish or not?
I think you've already finished. You've already said that this woman shouldn't even give this man any consideration.
She already knows because she's questioning it herself. So really, she needs to go with her gut instinct because she knows better. She knows it's not going to be a healthy relationship. There's too much, drama already involved, and it's hard to just kind of forget that stuff.
Yeah. And what's the huge risk? What's the huge risk about her, after all she's already been through and all that's already been established, with her testing the waters again with this guy?
Because you know what the risk is, she's gonna go through the same old crap again, and it's gonna he may be Mr. Nice Guy until he feels that okay, I got her feeling comfortable again.
Why can't a case be made that this man did exactly as I said? He got a little bit of a feeling of the walls closing in, but that was just a reaction that he wishes didn't happen, but now it's too late, and he wants a second chance, and he does want to be the family guy that he talked about before he got those cold feet.
Right.
And he deserves a shot, a little maybe 6 month to a year trial run, and you got to put your emotions on the line, and you got to put your feelings that can be bruised and damaged, and there's a child now in the picture, so but the child is an infant, so what are the real repercussions there? There are some, but
there's quite a bit.
Psychologically, you're not talking about damage that's going to be unable to be relieved, and the child is not really at a point where psychologically it can be damaged that great. If the child is an infant, all right, if she gives
9 months
testing
old,
the waters period, she really has a lot of upside.
But they have a volatile relationship, which in turn will affect the child in some way. Period. I don't care. That's just the way it is. Sometimes as a parent, when you don't realize that the what you're doing or how you're feeling or your mood or whatever is really in some way you're taking it out on your children.
That's why I'm saying she goes into this not allowing herself to allow this thing to be prolonged.
But she already knows it's not going to work.
I'm making a case. There's no reason this guy had to call you at this point talking about family again.
He still has a girlfriend now. I wonder.
He only has a girlfriend. He only has a girlfriend because she's been shutting him out for the past number of months.
Wow.
And rightfully so.
Really?
rightfully so, Terry. I'm not saying it's not rightful that she's shutting him out for some period of time, but this man is entitled to a second chance.
Oh, is he? Right? So when girlfriend one shuts him out, he goes, "Oh, let me go to the woman who has my child, and I'll make her feel better so that I can come in and get some attention from her." And then when my girlfriend one, listen, when my girlfriend one lets me back in a little bit, then I'll dog my baby's mama out and hurt her and my child again and not even worry about it. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, because he says...
You know that's what's going to happen, so don't even risk it. You know better. You're a smart woman.
Every once in a while in this world, you have to take calculating
She already has. She's known him for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not...
He hasn't changed.
This girlfriend, it's not like this girlfriend, a couple of months later he got into the relationship. No. He was with her when I had my baby shower already. You know what I mean?
See?
Like
3
weeks. This girl, it worked with him. She's
you didn't tell us about that part.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's only 19 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Good get.
And she doesn't have a baby, right, from him?
No, of course not. So they now have a, great relationship. He has a child with me. Right. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to have
You're the standby. You know that, right? You're the standby.
Exactly.
Because you're connected because of a child.
All this could be explained in that case I made about him panicking. All this can be hashed.
I think that's just...
He didn't panic nothing.
This could all be construed as a panic attack.
No, he wants his cake and to eat it too. You know that old cliche.
Terry, it could be that. It could be that, but you don't know for sure. You don't know for sure.
Call him up. I bet you
that this man is entitled to a very cautious, proceed with some serious caution, but a second chance nonetheless.
Does he see the child?
But, okay, that's...
if you go in with Yvette, if you go in with rules saying I will not allow this to be prolonged, any type of gut feeling I get that it's the same old with this guy, any type of feeling that I get that tells me by instinct that I was right in my initial thinking that he's never going to be the man I hoped and expected and was told by him that he would be, then you pull the ripcord as fast as you can. But I'm not so sure that a case can't be made here, that this man had all the symptoms of a guy who had a panic attack and wishes it didn't happen, but sometimes you can't help it.
Right,
and that man
that part of it. But the thing is that when I've spoken to him about, okay, well then if we're going to work things out, though, you can't continue the relationship that you're in right now, he is not in any way willing to give that relationship up.
Oh, well then, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're
like, no, I'm not going to,
So he wants to get back with you, but he wants to still be with his girlfriend? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he says he wants to work things out.
That's a great setup for him.
Cake and eat it too. Got it all.
Does he think you're stupid? Does he think you're pretty dumb or what?
He does.
Okay, well, you don't want to be with any guy that thinks you're really dumb, all right? Because obviously you're not, and your child is not going to think you are, so he doesn't need to be around someone who obviously thinks you are, because before you know it, he'll have the child thinking you are, all right? Right. So, Yvette, I am inclined to always believe that a person's entitled to a second chance, and given some circumstances you've told us about, I made a case that a panic attack type situation is what developed here, but now you're telling me some things that make it hard for me not to agree with Terry and say any second chance is out the window. But, and it sounds like that's the way you're leaning, and you just needed to hear that. So if that's why you called, maybe we should be going that way, but...
it irritates me that he continues to, after all this time, he doesn't just leave it alone, You
ever hear the phrase? You ever hear the phrase "straight to voicemail"?
Or I
mean, how difficult is it?
Right? What's the ignore button?
You have no conception of the idea of sending a call straight to voicemail. I mean, how hard is it for you to just not allow him to be communicating with you? If you don't want someone to communicate with you, it's not that difficult. So obviously there's something about him that you still want to, well, I guess she's got some parental situations she's got to discuss with him and everything. Right. I think she just got cut off by accident. But Yvette, Thank you for the call. I just don't know what the big downside is, Terry. If she goes in completely guarded, and I don't usually like someone to head into a relationship or any kind of situation in a guarded fashion, but in this circumstance, it has to happen. And if she goes in completely skeptical and guarded and expecting the worst, she's not going to allow herself to be that vulnerable that she has a lot of upside and very little downside. Give him a short period of a second chance trial run and see where he's at.
But every time you do that, but then when it happens again, it's a gross bad circle. It will never
get that
end.
removed.
Yeah, get the mole removed.
Nice analogy. Okay. TJ, you're on the air.
How you doing this morning, Joe? How you doing, T? I got a question for Terry.
Yeah.
Okay, Terry. Terry?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I have a question for you, since you're a parent and you have kids in school.
Yes.
This is a situation. Monday.
She has kids of all ages. Yeah.
It's
Monday,
great. I love it. I love having a big family.
My son comes home Monday. He's got a note from the principal.
How old?
He's 7. Okay. He gets this note from the principal stating that one of the little boys in his class was upset at him for something that happened last week. So the little boy the other little child drew a picture of my son laying on the ground dead, and the kid has a gun in his hand, and he's got it labeled. So,
what do you mean he's got it labeled? He's got it labeled what? Gun?
He's got my son's name on the body that's laying there.
Right.
Okay, and the other the little boy that's upset is the one holding the gun.
Man, show and tell has changed, Terry.
Yeah,
all right.
I guess so.
You're now a very concerned parent. How is the school handling it? They obviously addressed it. They made it known to you, so that's a good step. Yes.
Okay, this is the situation. They did not call us Monday when this took place. We didn't find out until my son got home from school that he had a note from the principal about what happened. No phone call from the teacher, no phone call from the principal.
So basically, your son is getting threatened, so to speak, by another 7-year-old son, another 7-year-old kid, right? And they didn't contact you. Wow, I'd be calling up in a quick.
Well, I mean, they sent a note home. How quickly, how urgently do they have to call? I mean, it's not like he's seconds away from being shot. 2 7-year-olds, even though you can't take anything for granted these days.
I
don't think the risk.
But it's a zero
tolerance. They usually call.
Zero tolerance.
And then let the child who did the threatening.
They did let you know about it through a note that got sent home that day. You want an immediate call the second that they come across that picture. Is that what you're saying?
This is what I'm saying, though. They took the kids into the office.
Right.
And they had a meeting with the kids. There was 2 other children there also.
Parents?
That stated that my son did not do anything or provoke this. He did. Okay. We called the principal yesterday.
So what do you want?
What's that?
What do you think? What are you angry about? You're angry about the fact that it wasn't immediate enough that they didn't get a hold of you?
No, what I'm trying to get at is the kid has not been. They didn't suspend him or anything like that. We finally talked to the teacher yesterday. I talked to the principal. The principal said he was waiting for the teachers to call us about this situation.
You think a suspension to the 7-year-old is going to make a big difference?
What's that?
You think a suspension to the 7-year-old is going to make a huge difference in the day-to-day lives of these 2 7-year-olds, or what?
No. See, you understand? My son about 2-3 months ago pushed a girl down in the hallway, and they gave him a half-day suspension for that.
Well, that's a physical type of an act, and not to say that a picture can't be as dangerous as anything these days, but I would think pushing a girl down is probably a much more direct calling for an immediate type of punishment of some sort than perhaps this picture that has you bothered. Granted, I understand as you being the parent, seeing
because we finally talked to the teacher yesterday, and the teacher stated this is another underlying issue with this kid.
So he's getting a little reputation of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they're keeping tabs on this. on this kid? Do you want this kid taken out of the school? What do you want? What do you want?
I'm thinking, well, you know what? It's a threat. I mean, to me, it's a threat. That some other child is drawing a picture of him holding a gun and shooting your child.
No one's denying it's a threat. Even the school knows it's a threat, and that's why they sent a note home with your son, making yourself and your wife or whoever you're with aware of the situation. So everyone agrees that it's a threat. The magnitude of the threat is what's debatable. Now the question is, what do you want done?
Okay, how do you handle, your child is I don't know. Some people say the victim, some people say not the victim. How would you handle on a zero tolerance, something that is zero tolerance like that?
Well, if they gave him a 2-day suspension, is that going to make you feel any better? If they gave this kid a 2-day suspension, are you gonna think, okay, my child's safe now? You're not going to feel any better. So what? So short of kicking him out of the school, what can they do? Not much. They're on top of the situation. They're keeping tabs on the situation. It's got to be very scary to see any kid make a picture of any other kid, especially when it's your child and your child is the one laying on the ground. How scary that must be. I understand that, but there's not much that can be done that isn't being done already, short of taking this kid and taking him out of the school. And that
even a 2-day, 3-day suspension. You know what? That would let that child know that this is not accepted.
I think the child has probably been told that this is not acceptable.
Well, it's not just for the child, by the way. It's the parents.
It's the parents.
And it's not even necessarily the parents. That's what I was wondering.
Yes. When I asked the question, if you think a 2-day suspension is going to make a big difference, you say the answer is yes. And I'm not so sure that a 2-day suspension is going to change the whole world as far as this situation is concerned. But if that makes you feel better, you should go to the school and say, how come this child hasn't been suspended, to send a message? Because I think that would be a big message. And although some may disagree, I'm upset that hasn't happened yet.
If a 7-year-old's at the point where he's going to shoot somebody, I don't think a 2-day suspension is really going to do anything.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think a 2-day suspension really is going to change anything.
Oh, wait. That's cool.
Short of taking the kid out of the school, I don't know if there's anything that could make you feel better. I'm sure they've talked to the parents.
But
I'm sure they've talked to the child.
Well, maybe you guys should all have a meeting with the kids.
They won't do.
Why not?
Because he said it's an issue that this child is going through. It's another underlying issue that they're dealing with this child.
Well, you got to start to get a little demanding.
Yeah,
you have to start to be direct with this school. And I'm sorry this happened to you, TJ, but my advice specifically to you is to be more direct in what you want done. And if they refuse, well, then you have to figure out what to do from there. But you don't even sound yourself like you know what needs to be done here. It's a tough situation. I don't think a 2-day suspension is really going to change or solve anything. And it's unfortunate to see any kid making a picture of your kid lying on the street dead because in the picture the other kid shot him. That's got to be a frightening thing. But this is part of the environment and the culture of what's going on at schools these days. And that's a sad state of affairs, but it happens to be the reality. Sounds like they're somewhat on top of it. Maybe TJ wants them to be a little bit more on top of it. But what were they supposed to do? So they'll call an immediate fire drill and send everyone out of the school until all parents could be called once this picture was found?
No,
maybe. I don't know.
But I think a courtesy call.
They sent a note home. They sent a note home that day.
I understand. I heard that. But even a nice little courtesy call, saying we did have an incident. Your son has a note coming home. We took care of it. We just wanted to confirm. But it's more or less a courtesy call. For some parents, that's what they need. Other parents, the note is enough. Obviously, they're the type of parents who need some kind of actual person talking to them as well.
1-866.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
663 T-Man. Back after these words.
The T-Man Show.
It's official. Beyonce and Jay-Z are man and wife. Although the two won't confirm it themselves, their paperwork says it all. On Friday, the music power couple filed their signed marriage license, proving once and for all they're going for ever after.
Oh, is that what they're going for?
Yes.
Happily ever after. Yeah, that's the goal. Okay, that sounds like a fun little prospect. Anyhow, Terry, what else has gone on in this world of ours, please? Beyonce and Jay-Z, even though they're not saying it to anyone, according to all paperwork, it leads towards a trail, giving you no choice but to conclude that they are, in fact, officially a married, blissful, happy couple.
Yeah. So now she's Beyonce Z?
Beyonce Z.
All right.
Is her new name. What else, Terry, is happening out there, please?
Well, Mariah Carey is obviously on top of the world right about now. She just recently did a little interview, and one of the questions during the interview was whether or not she wanted to have kids.
How old is she now?
She's 39. She just turned 39
I was going to say, she's pushing
month.
40. Not that you can't have kids at 40 these days.
Right.
I mean, we just recently had you tell us all about the story of the Desperate Housewives cast member that at age 44 had her first kids.
Yeah,
so it's certainly something that she couldn't see as a legitimate question. So what was her answer? Is she going to have kids or no?
That would be a no.
Ow!
Her interview is in OK Magazine, and basically one of her quotes.
Her body looks too good, though.
Well, I think that's really what it all boils down to.
She loves the fact that all the magazines are pointing out that she's looking better than ever, and she's lost all the weight that she might have gained over the past number of years, and how did she do it, and what a marvel she is at being able to keep her body in perfect shape at age 40, and she doesn't want to have a baby now to screw all that up. It's a very selfish aspect.
Well, she basically says it's hard to have kids in this world, and for now I enjoy my dog Jack's company.
Yeah, she's doing any potential kid a favor.
Yeah.
No one needs her little batty ways as far as being parented by that kind of situation. So, well done, what's her name? Yeah, Mariah Carey.
Yeah, she says she never really wants to feel violated.
These pictures of Miley Cyrus that still are staring at me here, Terry.
Are we going back to that?
I gotta admit, there's talk that this is just a look-alike of Miley Cyrus in the lingerie, Terry. There's a lot of debate as to whether this is actually her. It looks like her to me. And even though she's 16, I gotta admit, Terry, that the person who I guess is the subject of these little provocative photos looks pretty good to me.
I'm sure.
All right?
You sure it's her?
Well, I can't say with 100% certainty that it's her, but it looks a lot like her.
Did you ask your expert on 16-year-old girls, Pasty Dave, whether it's her or not?
Will Pasty Dave give me the thumbs up or thumbs down as to whether he thinks this is authentic and this is Miley Cyrus and not just some lookalike out there? You saw the Jessica Simpson lookalike running around the NFL circuit during the late stages of the football season, which a lot of people thought at first was actually Jessica Simpson. So finding a body double, a lookalike, is not the hardest little accomplishment in the world these days, but it looks a lot like her, Pasty. Give me a thumb. Oh, he's going 2 thumbs up.
Wow.
Really?
Look for 3.
2 thumbs up. Oh, that ain't no... That'll never be mistaken for a thumb. That's
yeah, I forgot.
That you're talking about there. And not when it's been described, even though it hasn't been touched by human hands, as a magnum-sized situation.
The biggest, dude.
Drea, you're on the air. What's up, baby?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I was wanting to comment on the caller who called in about his 7-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's a little panicked, and I guess many could say justifiably so. Anytime it's your own child that all of a sudden you get a letter home from the teacher or some school administrator saying another kid draw a picture of him killing that son of yours, it's going to be something that is justifiably a panic-type situation for you. So we can't knock the man on that, whether he went overboard with his wants and his needs at this point as a parent now is up for debate. What is your take on this, Drea?
I feel like he went overboard, and it just sounded like Okay, so his child physically touched another young lady and pushed her down. And just because his son has already been reprimanded for something that he's done, he's just looking to make sure that every little kid that does anything gets reprimanded.
So you didn't think it was as much from a place of him being fearful for his child as any good parent is going to be sometimes overboard about. You thought it was more, you picked up during his call him pointing out how his son got suspended. So now he just wants fairness, and he was still bothered by the fact that his son got suspended, and he wants this child to now be suspended, and it's not necessarily because he's so worried about his child.
Exactly. Now, I can understand if his child was a teenager, if he was going to middle school, going to high school, and some psycho little teenager decided to go ahead and paint a picture of what he's going to do. I would be more fearful of my child if he was a teenager, because once you get into teenage years and your children, your parenting has not settled any problems that your younger child has had, they just get worse as the child gets older. So, okay.
Well, sometimes it doesn't take that long. You heard all the stories about the 7-year-olds bringing guns to schools and
and plotting to kill the teacher, because remember we just did that story a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, I do.
But isn't drawing a picture a little different than bringing a gun to school?
But
yes, there is a little bit of a barrier between the picture and actually the act of bringing a gun to school. It's not like it's a close relationship necessarily, yes.
But the thing is, when it comes to zero tolerance, it doesn't matter. A threat is a threat, and according to the zero tolerance policy, it should all be dealt the same.
And then the two kids go home and sit by each other, and they sit by each other and play Halo, and slice each other open with energy swords.
But where
do you draw the line?
Well, the thing is that if you're going to have zero tolerance, then have zero tolerance and be equal across the board and follow that zero tolerance. You can't just have zero tolerance for because he physically touched the girl.
So under the rules of zero tolerance, what has to happen? What does that mean? What has to happen to the child who drew the picture of his
The child
his
gets
son?
Suspended like the kid did for a half a day or whatever, or at least gets taken out of the school for the rest of the day. Just like his son did. It's across the board.
And then it becomes satisfying to the zero tolerance policy?
That's what it's outlined for.
Then everything's
That's
good
why
in the
they have
world?
it. That's why they have it.
Well, they probably filed it away. They probably are keeping tabs on the situation. They alerted both sets of parents. What else has to happen?
But that's the thing. That's what they're doing, though. They're picking and choosing their zero tolerance when they want to apply it and when they don't.
This is part of the deal now. When you kiss your kids goodbye and send them off to school, unfortunately, the only other alternative is homeschooling. And your dumbass ain't got anything to teach your kids, so send them to school.
Put the flak jacket on and say, have a nice day. Don't forget your lunch.
You don't think I'm thinking about, like, the future of homeschooling for my kids? But what I'm thinking, what the hell is my kid going to learn from me besides becoming crazy? So you got to kiss your kids goodbye, and that's that. Not literally, of course.
Yeah, what's 4 times 2?
I mean, figuratively, huh?
No idea. Get out of here.
What else is going on out there, Terry, before we all get carried away with overwhelming fears and concerns? What else is going on that can lighten up the moment, please?
Well, Cheryl...
So what did Mariah Carey actually say? Did you ever finish that? What did she say when she was asked if she could have kids?
She said basically she doesn't want to feel violated.
That was her exact quote? She doesn't want to feel violated? What does that mean?
Quote, I never wanted to feel violated, and I know that's a kind of weird thing to say, but
now, that
that's how I am.
And that's how she left it. She doesn't want to feel violated, and she recognized that that's a weird thing to say, but she didn't describe what she meant by that. That could mean two things. Has it ever been established that she's clearly heterosexual? Has she ever identified with certainty that she is into men and not women?
Well,
anybody who wants to jump in here at any time is more than welcome.
Well,
has it ever been established that she is heterosexual and has no homosexual interests?
She was married to the Sony president for a number of years. Tommy
Mottola and her were together for a while. But
but she really hasn't been hooked up with anybody as of late once they got divorced.
That brings about the other option in discerning and translating that statement of I don't want to feel violated, and that's why I'm not interested in having kids. Is it just, as I said earlier, that she doesn't want her body, as she sees it, to be damaged by the birthing process? And she's so into her own appearance in a selfish fashion that she knows as big accolades as she gets for keeping her body in such perfect form at age 40 as she gets right now, she'll never be able to get that if she ever has a baby move through those hips. And that's what being violated means. Is that what she means by that?
Probably.
That's what she means.
That's
if she doesn't have her body, she's got nothing.
Right. And she already struggles with her weight issue. We've seen it through her career, up and down.
Recap again for me. The reporter asked her if she's ever going to have children, if she's ever considered, if she's ever going to, if children are ever on her mind in her future, and what her thoughts are as far as her being a mom.
Right.
And her answer, again, give me the exact words, were...
I never wanted to feel violated.
Wait, no. You got to read it so I can understand what you're saying.
I'm giving you the quote. I never wanted to feel violated.
Aha.
And I know that's a kind of weird thing to say, but that's how I am.
I never wanted to feel violated. Does that mean she's at heart in her mind, body, and soul, when it's all said and done, a lesbian? Or does that mean she doesn't want her body to get all screwed up?
Doesn't want her body to get all screwed up. She'd rather hang out with Jack, her dog.
I'm giving you the two options, and you're both going with option B.
Yes.
You're both going with option B.
Yeah,
but if she's...
I'm not so sure that it isn't option A.
Maybe her and Alicia Keys.
A lot of gay individuals have been in a marriage, you know.
Right.
And then realize for certain, without any shadow of a doubt, that they are, in fact, gay individuals. So just because she's been married and there was some motivation to her marrying the president of Sony, one might say, at the time.
Well, also, too, I just remember she dated Derek Jeter. She was with him for a minute. And I think even Eminem.
She was with Eminem for a minute?
I believe so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I kind of do remember that for a second there.
A little minute.
But we know she loves showing off her body, so I think that's it.
I agree with Hot Shot.
No one loves a short skirt more than her.
Right.
You're on option B, not looking back.
Right.
I mean, I would love to think about option A. That really does it for me, but I think it's option B.
I agree.
I wonder what the callers think. Let me see if anyone's... I'm going to just take the lines that are ringing right now, see if anyone has any thoughts on this. You're on the air. Hello.
She's single. Who wants to raise a kid by themselves, you know?
Hello?
But she has plenty of money. She can get
a lot of women want to raise kids by themselves.
Really?
Especially women that have amazing power and a little stash of cash like her. Yes, who's this?
Maria.
What's up?
I just want to comment on Mariah. Maybe she meant that she doesn't want to get violated. Maybe they were in her ex-husband was into kinky stuff, or Jeter person was into kinky stuff as well.
Her ex-husband was into kinky stuff, so she sees sex as a violation because she has such harsh memories of sex?
What?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out.
I'm trying to understand what the hell you're telling me. You're saying her husband was into such kinky stuff that when she thinks of sex, she sees it as a violation more than a beautiful act.
Absolutely.
All right, then why are you saying what? Like I don't even know what I'm talking
Because I
about.
couldn't hear you. All of you guys were talking at the same time.
Everyone's a lot of edge today. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's really a good option C. So leave the options to me. All right, honey? And let's just have you choose between the two options I've thrown out there, because it can't be anything else. Trust me, if it's anything else, I would have thought about it. Either Mariah Carey is truly, when it's all said and done, has been, is, and always will be a lesbian.
Oh, see? Why we gotta be like that? Huh?
Why did she have to answer that way, Terry? What does that mean? What does that statement mean about?
I really
she could have easily said, well, you know, it's just not in the cards for me. I'm 39, going on 40 now, and
why the long explanation? She was pretty, precise in her answer.
I'm not saying she can't be precise in her answer, but just give me an answer that can sound normal.
She's not really normal.
Well, even not normal people could give a normal answer. For her to say, I don't want to be violated, when asked if she ever is considering being a mom, for her to say, well, I don't want to be violated, that is not a normal answer, Terry, so we got to figure out what the hell that means. She didn't want to explain it. She probably realized something slipped out of her mouth right after she said it, and she didn't want to go any further with it.
Yeah.
So you know me, Terry. I'm a curious guy by nature. I got to figure out what the hell that means.
I know.
And as I see it, there's only two options. Not three, caller. There's only two options. And I think we better start readdressing as to whether that was an indication that she subtly gave us that in her heart, in her mind, in her body and soul, Terry, she has, is, and always will be a lesbian.
Terry Cam chatters are guessing she's transgender.
Oh, jeez. She really has a schlong down there?
No. Real CD4 says maybe she is transgender.
If that's the case, I'm very disappointed in myself.
Jed, you're on the air. Hello, Jed.
Hey, how you doing, T-Man?
What's up, baby?
Not much. Hey, you know, as much as I like to agree with you most of the time, I think I'm going to have to go with Terry and everyone else on this one with option B. Because if you remember right, like, what was it, 5-6 years ago before MP3 players got big, there was a picture of Mariah in an article in some magazine because she was walking down the street listening to a CD player with her own CD in her CD player.
Yeah, all right. So she's into herself that she would never want to have a kid to ruin her body as she sees it.
Right.
Well, yeah,
that's not disagreeing with me. I gave you two options. Just because I want it to be option A doesn't mean I don't think it could be option B.
Oh, well, true. I just, I got to say it's option B because she seems like she's kind of into herself. Which, I mean, hey, that's not a problem. I mean, who isn't into her?
Isn't that the height of selfishness, Terry? Isn't it a woman's duty to at least allow herself to consider having a child and not be dismissing it because she doesn't want to ruin her body?
No, not necessarily. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you are obligated to have a child.
I'm not saying you're obligated. Maybe children aren't for you. But if the reason you're not having children is because you don't want to ruin your body, isn't that not justifiable? Isn't that wrong? Isn't that... Because I think when you meet your maker, when it's all said and done after this crazy world of ours is all, we're done going around the big merry-go-round here. Do you think maybe she gets scolded for that or no?
No. I think that she actually, although it is pretty self-centered, I'm not going to deny that. I think that being realistic and being honest about it, I would rather have her be like that than to bring in a child just because
I don't want to bring in a child if she's not capable of raising a child.
And then abuse the child or hold.
Oh, abuse it, won't you?
Well, because, or not be as loving or anything to that child because she feels that child ruined her body.
Amber, you're on the air.
It's my body, I do what I want.
Right. I would just, she's probably, obviously, I think she's just one of those ladies, too, who's not capable of
well, then she should come out and say that. She shouldn't say, well, the only reason I don't want to have a kid is because I don't want to ruin my body.
But that's priority for her. Her body's priority.
If I could have a child and it could be guaranteed that I can keep this perfect body of mine, then I would have a child tomorrow. You're on the air, Amber. Hello.
Hello. I think what maybe she's saying is that maybe she knows somebody who's gone through a really traumatic birthing experience, and so she just doesn't, want to go through that. Maybe she's afraid of the whole experience.
Why does every caller feel like they have to go off the board, Terry? I've given them two of the most viable options. I've given them the best two options, the only two options that exist here. It's got to be one or the other. Trust me on this. And they got to go off the board and tell me their little theories about how she might know someone who had a terrible birthing situation, and that's why she doesn't want to be violated. Whatever.
I don't think she's a lipstick lesbian, to be honest with you. I think she portrays herself as a sex symbol. So I don't see her as a lesbian. It'd be really hard to vision Mariah Carey as a lesbian. I would hate to think so.
It's not that hard. Give it a shot.
Yeah, try harder. Apply yourself. Hey, you are what you are. And maybe she felt that it would jeopardize her career. That's an unfortunate way of thinking, but considering that she got it all started in the late 80s, early 90s, when things were a little bit different than they are now, still a lot of room for improvement, Terry, but things have progressed in ways of thinking and acceptability as far as the Hollywood and music scene. She perhaps felt she needed to hide her identity to some extent. I mean, this is all just theory, keep in mind, Terry. But I'm very curious about that little statement, I don't want to feel violated. What are the exact words again? I'm sorry, I needed to hear it a sixth time.
Jeez. I never wanted to feel violated, and I know that's a kind of a weird thing to say, but that's how I am.
I never wanted to feel violated. Robert, you're on the air. Hello, Robert.
Hello, what's up, man?
What's up, bud?
No, yeah. When she says she doesn't want to be violated, I think she's talking about the media.
Everyone has to go off the board. Everyone has to have their own theories.
I know. They don't want to accept there's only two options.
She's been violated by the media every day of her life, pretty much. Why would having a baby be any different? I guess there's no answer to that.
Okay.
She doesn't want to get pregnant and be violated by the media. Well, I mean, there is something to that, perhaps. Maybe that's what she meant by the statement, but I doubt it. Two options! She gave you a little clue as to her true sexual identity, A or B. She loves her body so damn much, and she thinks all the world is in perfect harmony and agreeing that her body is so beautiful that she don't want a baby to go through her hips and screw up what she has worked on and has put out there for all of us to enjoy.
T-Man, what about a third option? Maybe her vagine doesn't work correctly or something.
Everyone has to go off the board.
Jeez.
Her reproductive little necessities aren't working in perfect harmony to allow her to become a mom? Is that what you're saying?
And maybe her uterus is out of business. Closed for remodeling.
Remodeling?
Never to reopen again.
Boarded up?
Yes.
U-Haul's outside of it?
Oh, yeah. Little dumpster. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Major remodeling. Maybe it's medical.
Well, if that's the case, would she have answered in that fashion? I don't want to feel violated. What would that? How would that? Yeah, I'm just taking what she said and trying to put together the pieces here. Very interesting response that I've never heard before when someone was asked if they're going to ever consider, if they have considered, if there's still time for them to have a child. Well, I never wanted to feel violated.
Yeah.
Such a violation to be impregnated and give birth?
Some women look at it as
all right, well, that's fine.
It desecrates the perfect body.
Well,
that's probably it. It would desecrate my perfect body.
Mm-hmm. It's tough enough.
Baby's gonna come along and ruin this.
No, drugs and alcohol are gonna ruin it before a baby does.
Rose, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, Rose.
I just wanted to say that she doesn't want to be violated because she doesn't want no one to see her genitals.
She doesn't want anyone to see her genitals.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So no witnesses as to the Mariah Carey genitals for the rest of her life. Everyone's got to go off the board, Terry. And these suggestions, these options are getting more silly by the second.
What if there was one person in this world that thought they were too cool to have anyone see their privates? It's her.
Someone wants to see her insides. She's Mariah Carey.
Her insides?
Yeah, I mean, when the baby comes out, that's what she
you think the penis head has a little scope on it, or what? What do you mean her insides?
I mean her vagina.
Oh.
Are you talking about doctors or you talking about lovers?
Doctors.
Doctors?
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to ever go to a gynecologist is what you're saying. And the only reason women go to gynecologists is when they get pregnant.
I never thought of it.
Well, have fun with your yeast infections. Thanks for the
yeah, I don't think OBGYNs go home and tell their wives, I saw Mariah Carey's vagina. It was awesome.
I probably do. 1-866-663 T-Man, back after these words.
The T-Man Show.
Lowen is speaking out about that photo taken over the weekend in New York, showing her in the backseat of a car after a night of partying and reportedly drinking vodka. On her Facebook page, she says, "Don't believe the hype. I'm taking my sobriety seriously, and day by day."
Let her have a cocktail.
Oh, jeez.
My gosh. She's got to respond to this on her Facebook page, Terry. Is that what Facebook is about?
Yep.
Dismissing all these ridiculous rumors about you that you've fallen off the wagon. Can't she go out at 21 years old in a legal fashion and have a cocktail, Terry? I'm not getting into this again.
I know. No,
okay.
You're not.
What else is going on, please?
Well, T, are you interested in purchasing a $1,000 sushi roll?
I'm sorry, what are you offering me now, Terry?
I'm offering you a sushi roll that's only going to cost you...
It sounds promising. What are you giving me right now, Terry?
A sushi roll.
How much are you charging me? This is more than Ashley Alexander Dupre. Oh, actually, it's cheaper.
$1,000.
Oh, a real legitimate sushi roll?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were finally coming around.
No.
Well, why are you asking? Well, I don't get it.
Well, at KUBE Restaurant in Vegas, they are offering a sushi roll that costs $1,000.
$1,000 for a sushi roll?
Yes.
And does this sushi roll come with $900 worth of chips or $980 worth of chips, Terry? Or what do you get for your sushi roll in Vegas?
Well,
at KUBE Restaurant.
It is made from duck or goose liver, which is called foie gras from Hudson Valley.
The Pick Six at Bay Meadows too, Terry?
Maybe so.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It's also made up of a type of lobster.
So wait, it's just a sushi roll.
It is just a
for
sushi roll.
For $1,000.
Yes.
They just know how willing people are to blow their money in Las Vegas.
Yes.
That there's a restaurant in Las Vegas that truly on the menu is offering a sushi roll for $1,000.
Yes. At KUBE Restaurant.
Well, you can't eat just one, Terry. You got to get like 3 or 4, right?
Sure.
Yeah, 2 to go, too, if you could. Please put them in the box or something. A little extra wasabi.
And one for everyone in the whole restaurant, please. I'm really on a roll today. They just know how people are ready to part with their money in Las Vegas. That they're charging $1,000
yes.
for a sushi roll. That's what you're telling me. Oh, it has lobster in it.
Oh.
Why didn't you say so? It's a bargain.
Wait, and you didn't hear this. The Hudson Valley foie gras, which is basically duck or goose liver.
So it's got duck, it's got lobster.
It's got white Alba truffles and, better yet, 100-year-old balsamic oil.
100-year-old balsamic oil?
Yes.
That is the proper aging for balsamic oil, and everyone knows that, Terry. If your oil is only aged 99 years, well, you're not doing yourself right. You got to allow one more year to allow the full century of aging for your balsamic oil. And, of course, now it makes perfect sense, Terry. $1,000 is the proper price for this sushi roll. And I hope everyone heads to Vegas this weekend and enjoys it, yes.
And I'll have water to drink, please.
Yeah,
right.
And a lot of bread.
Yeah. Play bread at a sushi place.
$1,000. Well, if you're trying to impress your lady, Terry.
Yes.
Or the ladies at the next table, well, then maybe there's a reason to order this sushi roll. But then you got no money left to spend on the room, so I don't even see the point in ordering the $1,000 sushi roll. But hey.
It doesn't even sound good, though. Foie gras is nasty. Not in the livers of animals.
Right, of ducks and goose. Come on.
If you've ever had it, it's gross.
Oh, goose liver is delicious. Tastes delicious.
My favorite,
anyway.
yes.
Okay.
It's funny that people won't eat food that's left out overnight on their counter, but 100-year-old balsamic oil, bring it on. That slice of pizza was out all night. I'm out.
Let me try the goose and liver stuff.
Jeez. Well, I mean, it's either that or the $1,500 slice of pizza. So I'll take the $1,000 sushi roll and then head back to the crap tables.
Yeah.
I think I need to eat anything older than Larry King, by the way. It just doesn't sound good.
What hotel? Does it say what hotel that this restaurant is in, Terry, or what?
I don't know. What is it in? It's in KUBE Restaurant, and I don't know.
KUBE Restaurant. All right. Because I'm going to be heading to Vegas over the next couple of months.
Right.
I don't know. I just may have to... No, I don't think so. Anyway.
Really?
Come on.
Bring us home one.
You're happy to put that on one spin of the roulette wheel, but, to get something tangible for your money, I'm out.
Well, I think the spin of the roulette wheel is more tangible than a sushi roll. But anyway.
Unless you lose.
The sushi roll isn't going to all of a sudden turn into $2,000, is it?
Well, that's true. You don't have an upside, but...
Okay.
But the best part is you're going to take a $1,000 number 2 as well. Think about that.
Yeah, what if you get, food poisoning? Isn't that just a bonus? Anyway, what else? What else is happening, Terry? What else is going on out there? A little hump day action here in the late stages of April.
Well, I've...
Terry, what's today's date? What is
late 23rd.
23rd. All right.
Yes.
What's going on? And then I'm going to have to turn the show over to calls, Terry, because as I said, on hump day, we like to take a lot of relationship calls, a lot of problems that people are dealing with have to be solved well before the weekend is in full focus. You know what I'm talking talking about?
Yeah.
All right, so what else is happening out there?
Well, I've got your stat of the day for you.
Stat of the day?
Stat of the day. More than...
What? All right, go ahead. All right. I was going to think maybe we should turn this into a trivia question that we could give something away, but you can always find a second stat of the day. So just hit me real quick with the stat of the day, and we'll move along. What do you got?
More than 50% of teens say that they had sex with someone they just met on spring break.
Ow!
Hey, what's going on?
Nice thought. Awesome. That's a pretty awesome thought when you think about it. So it might just be that. It might just be a claim. It may not be the reality. Or is it the feeling that they're telling the truth when they say they had sex with someone they just met during the now, and no matter what school you're going to, all spring breaks are in the books now. I mean, There's no spring breaks yet to come. Everyone who is doing the spring break thing has already done it. I mean, they fall on different weeks in a lot of areas, but everyone's had spring break now. And more than 50% of the high school, you're talking about high school, not college?
Teens,
what are you talking about?
Teens. Yeah. They go on spring break.
So we're talking about high school students are saying they had sex with someone they just met?
And that's what they're saying.
Wow. That is pretty awesome.
My kids are never going to spring break anywhere by themselves.
So these are the teens that went away. My mom would have never let me go away.
Well, but you also
I didn't
figure...
have to go away. And high school, man, I never even considered going away for spring break.
But sometimes...
Just a week at home.
I know, but sometimes, too, parents actually do plan, their little vacations around the spring break.
Yeah, if you go away on a family vacation, you're not getting laid. So
you never know.
These are not the high school students that went away with their families for spring break that are saying, oh, by the way, Mom, thanks for the trip, and I got laid when you weren't looking. No, these are the high school kids that get to go away. Well, college is different. I mean, most college students will find a way to scratch enough money together to go away a lot of times. But in high school, it was never even consideration to go away. All spring break was to me was a week at home.
Yeah, week to work. Make some money.
Hanging out with my sister.
Oh, yeah.
And I was one of the 50%, trust me.
Oh, God.
But I can't believe. So, all right, are you saying... Again, I have to be clear on this.
Right.
That these are just the teens that went away.
Well, I think
or is the stat is just as you're reading it? The stat that you found this morning in your little news areas that you look at to find interesting stuff says exactly what again? Read it precisely as it's written.
More than 50% of teens say they had sex with someone they just met on spring
Well, they got to be lying, right? I mean, I lied all the time in high school. I had girls come up to me and slap me because I lied about them. I told you those stories, Terry.
You almost got ran over, didn't you?
Yeah.
Girl after school. I'm standing there in the high school parking lot, and she ran into me with her car because I was lying so much about me having sex with her.
How was it? Good?
Well, in my mind, it was wonderful, yes.
But, you don't have to go at a Mazatlan when you're in high school. You can go camping or go to some stupid cabin or, there's lots of places you can go. You don't think more than half of the high school, and the key words there is just met, someone they just met.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't you say just met?
Just met. But understand,
what
too,
are the odds on that?
Then when you have, when you're living in a certain area, and the high schools are all on the same vacation, it gives you a time for, and then to mingle, and then
I'm not saying it's not easy. I'm not saying it's not easy to get hooked up these days. I'm not saying that people are hooking up at an amazing, alarming, and beautiful rate these days. But I'm still saying there are a lot of people like I was when I was a teenager who, if they don't get laid, they're going to lie about it. So that's the thing about studies. People, and all the studies that you love to talk about and bring on the air, Terry, people tend to lie when they get asked questions.
Right.
So I hope that the statistic is if the statistic is accurate, are you concerned, Terry? What is your feeling on this?
Did you not just hear me say, like, keep
your kids go anywhere?
No, they're not. No. You guys are not seeing anybody.
Mom, but if they're 18, if we're talking about teenagers, then you got to consider a lot of them are 17, 18, 19.
Right, and they have their own cars.
Right?
Some of them have their own cars or friends that drive, so they get in the car and they...
Let's go to the beach.
Yeah, let's go to the beach.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go hang out and...
Got to find someone to buy us beer and let's get out of here.
There you go. Exactly.
All right, what do you think of those teenagers in high school that didn't just sit home all week like I used to do and actually went somewhere camping or whatever?
Yeah.
Just consider those teenagers. What percent do you think is what percent of the teenagers that went away somewhere do you think actually are those that satisfy that statistic, that had sex with someone they didn't know before, someone they just met, and they had some variation of an intercourse type situation? What do you think the actual percentage is?
I'm going 77%.
Wow.
77%. It's a different mindset when you're on spring break. You just want to let loose.
I'm going back to high school.
Yeah, seriously.
Reincarnated as a teenager.
And again, as Hotshot and I pointed out, you don't necessarily have to go out of state. There's just
but I'm
when you have friends and stuff that can drive and you just kind of go to
here I am saying dudes lie and Hotshot's throwing out 77%. Are you saying it's higher or lower than 50%, Terry?
I kind of have a tendency to believe the stat. It's at least 50%.
Well, I don't want to believe it because if I didn't get laid, then no one should be getting laid. Man, no girl would have sex with me until one girl finally broke down when I was 21. You know how long I waited? I was ready to do it at 14, Terry.
I know.
I don't know. You
14.
Thought you were ready, though. Come on, you really wanted to do it at 14?
Well, I was a little scared, but I was ready. I was ready at 14.
Wow.
I was definitely ready at 17. I was certainly ready at 18. I was desperately ready at 19. I was pathetically ready at 20.
Oh, wait, what's after that?
I was ready to jump off a cliff at 21.
Whoa.
But, some girl felt sorry for me, finally gave me a run through, Terry. And the rest is sexual history. I made up for lost time and get wow.
I didn't go away to spring break till I was in college, and it was the easiest thing in the world for guys to hook up. Everyone there is there with one thing in mind. It's not that hard. If you have a modicum of any sort of ability, you can get it done.
Wow.
Yep.
That's what I needed then, I guess, a modicum of ability.
You definitely could have made it happen if you were in if you were 19 in Mazatlan. Done.
It's a done deal.
With someone.
1-866-663-T-Man. So that's your stat of the day, Terry?
Well, I did you want to play a game? Because I do have a few more stats if you'd like.
And it's completely different stats or stats also about spring break?
About spring break.
Oh, I want to hear more stats about spring break.
Okay.
Yeah, bring them on.
Right.
What do you got?
1 in 4 teens say they or someone they know lost their virginity on spring break.
Way to go! 1 in 4, huh? Is that all? Is that
no? I got one more for you.
We have here one more. This is the last one. All right. Well, try to phrase it so we can guess at the actual number. Say what the circumstance is, and then we'll guess the actual percentage or whatever needs to be guessed as to what the. You know what I mean? Like in the form of a question.
Right.
Yes. So we can play along at home.
Right.
I wish I could play along. Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
What percent of teens say that they or a friend had...
40%. Yeah, go ahead.
They or...
98%.
Are you going to let me phrase it or not?
Oh, phrase it? Yeah, go ahead, phrase it.
Okay.
I love when you phrase it.
Say that they or a friend had drunken, unprotected sex.
Drunken, unprotected sex, 106%. That's an easy one.
Well, on spring break.
What percent of teens say they had drunken, unprotected sex during the spring break week that just has had its run through? I'm going to say, Terry, that is a less than 50% type situation, but staggeringly high to some parents' interpretation. I'm going to say that it is 22%. Drunken, unprotected sex.
22%?
I'm going to say it's 47%. 47%.
Wait, you keep jumping
The actual
around.
number of teens that say they had drunken, unprotected sex or know someone who did is...
39%.
39%.
Wow.
Was there any other way?
I was going to say, I didn't know there was. What's the point if you have to do it the other way?
I was really sticking with my 106%. I can't believe it's only 39%. If you're going to have all these teens having sex, you're telling me some had responsible sex? Come on. Don't know from such a thing. 1-866-663-T-Man. Let me go to Sandra. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up, baby?
Nothing. Stuck in traffic.
Oh, yeah? Where you stuck?
At the toll plaza.
At the toll plaza. Okay. I'll find you in no time. What's on your mind?
I just had a comment about the whole Mariah Carey option A, option B.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that there are plenty of lesbian couples that use artificial insemination or adoption to get,
Yeah, but not if you're hiding. Not if you're hiding in the closet. Not if you're hiding out, not letting the world know your situation. Then
that
you can't be a...
That she does not want kids. So you know that they don't want kids.
She didn't say she didn't want kids. She just said she's not going to allow herself to be violated. I guess in some sense that means she doesn't want kids, but I don't know what you make out of that comment. I'm glad you're sitting in traffic trying to figure it out yourself. Jake, you're on the air. In San Jose, where the Sharks move on to round number 2. What do you got real quick, Jake? Up against a hard break. What do you got? Jake, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Well, I wanted to comment on the team stats. I think I haven't heard anybody really consider the fact that there's actually 2 teen years that are quote-unquote legal in actual college, not exactly applying to high school students.
Yeah, that's why this seems a little unclear. I mean, either you're talking about high schoolers or you're talking about college students, and they shouldn't be mixed into the same stat. Because it's a completely different spring break environment, I would think, for the college students that go away and the high school students that go away. I mean, they have some small similarities, but in large part, it's a very different kind of environment. So you can't mix them together and make it one stat, Terry. I'm getting the sense that when you phrase it the way you did and you say teens, that you're more talking about high schoolers than college students.
Although you're 18 and 19 in college, so they may up it a little bit. You know?
I know, but that's why I'm hoping that they didn't mix it all together and make it one stat.
But they did.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure it's 18, 19.
But they did.
Well, then you might as well go to 21.
But
yeah, just get them all in there.
Let me do these studies. No one knows how to do studies. Let me walk around and go to people up in the mall and ask them questions. That should be my real job. This should be my second job. 1-866-663-T-Man. Let's line up a whole slew of calls. Anything you want to talk about is fine. 1-866-663-T-Man. Ironic, the song is entitled Touch My Body, and yet Terry reported earlier this morning in a recent OK Magazine interview, when asked if she's ever going to have children, Mariah Carey responded by saying, "Children has never been an interest of mine because I never wanted to feel violated."
Right.
We have no real freaking idea as to what she meant by that. I don't know if she does. I'm sure she probably has a better clue than we do, but we've been speculating to some degree, and we pretty much got it nailed down to 2 options, and more one than the other, Terry.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. What else is happening in this wacky world of ours, Terrence? And then I'm going to the phones. 1-866-663-T-Man. As I've said now a number of times, today is, in fact, a little hump day action. Anything, any relationship problems that you need to be worked through, the good doctor is here and ready to solve any problems that may exist or anything that's going on that needs to be discussed altogether. 1-866-663-T-Man. T-Man is a toll-free number. Give me one good little quickie here, Terry. What do you got?
According to an article in New York Magazine, porn is apparently giving guys unrealistic expectations when it comes to women and sex.
What's giving guys unrealistic expectations?
Porn.
Oh, porn.
Porn.
Well, that's nothing new. They've been saying that for years about guys. Porn and pornographic online little clips that one is able to watch and DVDs. If you actually want to sit down and spend 10 minutes or so watching a movie, it's giving guys, they're concerned in New York Magazine that it's giving guys unrealistic expectations. Yes. About sex and women.
Right. Not only, I mean, obviously the sex is self-explanatory, but when it comes to women, it's how they look as well as how they perform sexually.
And what they're willing to do and how they perform and what they're willing to say to you and how convenient it can be to have sex. I mean, when I go shopping later for some Citizen jeans, Terry, I shouldn't expect when the woman sets me up with a dressing room for her to close the door behind me and start waxing my lance. I shouldn't be expecting that, Terry. Is that what you're telling me?
No, shouldn't.
Because that's what I was expecting.
How do these look on me? How do they look
When I go jean shopping later today, I expected her to peel the jeans down that I currently had on once she gets me in that dressing room and start going to town. You know, that's what happens in the porn clips that I watched her. I thought that's the real world.
Well,
I can't separate the real world from the clips I watch on YouPorn. Because Boys Food wasn't working last night, and I'm really getting upset with them, Terry, that they're having a lot of technical difficulties. Haven't you noticed lately that, like, every third day or every other day, Boys Food is, like, having technical problems, or what?
Well, I have a new one now, so I don't really go there anymore. Now, I know that you're always on it, so the fact that we're doing it together is kind of weird.
You got a new one, and you're not sharing with me?
No, I've shared with you, but you're not interested.
Well, I have enough, but you're on a new site. You're not even cluing me in. You got a new favorite, and you're not even letting me know about it. I mean, I probably am going to stick to my comfortable, customary little porn joints that I've been hanging out at lately. But, I mean, I'm interested in hearing about new stuff. What do you got?
Tube8, TUBE, the number 8.com.
KUBE.
There it is.
Wow.
Makes you feel good about yourself to be all engulfed in Tube8, huh? Makes you feel like you're part of a club of 8-inch little tube situations, or what? Is that the thought behind Tube8, or what?
We like Tube8 to Tube8, yes. I don't know if you'll love it. I think you might like Boys Food a little better.
Well, I mean, I think last night I was on Max Porn, not YouPorn, but there's all kinds of free porn sites that are putting all the porn industry in all kinds of chaos, Terry. They're complaining about it. The Vivid Video folks are all, like, ready to sue and all this stuff. But this is the evolution of the porn environment, and it's all quick and it's all free and it's all in your face right there on the internet, and you're going to Tube8.
That's my new one, yes. Mm-hmm. I have a major complaint, by the way, but I don't even know if I can address it.
You got a major complaint about what that you're not sure you can discuss on the air because of it being a little too over the top, or what?
Yeah, I don't even know if exactly. Clips that have women with big chests, which I tend to go to more times than not.
Big chest and big booties.
But there's always
everyone's got certain little areas of the site that they're more fans of as it pertains to other little niche, little market. You got...
My buddy loves Plot. Only guy I know that likes that.
Yeah, that's right. You do have a buddy.
A lot of guys just punching the word teens. A little creepy. A lot of guys punching MILF, or you put in the word wife or cheat or something like that. Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah, man on man, whatever. That kind of... whoa, was that out loud?
Out loud.
Sorry.
And Hot is a big fan of some oversized milkers.
I'm talking circus size,
Mm-hmm.
Ones that don't look normal.
Size. Yes. The Ringling Brothers milkers.
Yeah, but there's always one act that they do that I don't need. And women's
always one act.
Yeah, the women who have big ones feel guys love it.
And that's the insertion of the situation between the big milkers.
You nailed it.
Well, that's become very popular.
I don't need it.
I'm noticing that more and more in just standard clips. So I'm getting the feeling that they kind of test the waters as far as what their customers are into at the moment, and that's a big thing right now.
I don't need it.
You're not a fan. I understand.
I'm going to a formal complaint. I'm going to pick it outside their offices.
How many times would you say in your life that you have put yourself in the exact situation that you're saying you're not a fan of? Have you tried it numerous times? How many times? If you were to put a number on it, how many times have you done that in your life? Or is it too many to count, or can you give me a number?
Baker's dozen.
A baker's dozen?
Yeah, right around there.
He's throwing out a baker's dozen. He's done it 13 times.
Not a ton, but enough, I think.
And it does nothing for you but waste your time when you see a guy doing the little insertion of his business in the big fun bags that you're a huge fan of.
Yes, I don't need it.
You don't need it.
Mm-mm. I mean, if I'm doing it, I'm not opposed to it, but I don't need to watch it.
It's actually offending you to some extent, it sounds like. It's bothering you. If not offending, it's not just something that you're not interested in, but you're actually seeming like you're annoyed by it.
I am.
Why are you annoyed by it?
It just doesn't do it for me. I'm just out. It doesn't work for me.
And I'm telling you, it's become a big trend. It's almost like the flavor of the month. That act I'm seeing all over the joint.
Wow.
Yes. All right.
They don't have to do that, though. They can just do what everyone else does, but just, they have bigger tops. So just because you have that doesn't mean you have to do it, is what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, it's not just happening on your bigger breasted clips. It's happening in your medium size. It's happening a lot right now. It's the thing right now that they're showing on these sites. And I'm wondering why you're so bothered by it. And I'm also making you know, I hope you're aware that for every guy who is totally bothered by one particular act that he doesn't need, as you say, there's a ton of guys that say, bring it on.
Yeah, I'm sure they
love it, need it, can't get enough of it. And I'm telling you, there's got to be, it's not just a coincidence that the fact that you just said that reminded me that I'm seeing it a lot lately. And I don't remember, like 6 months ago, I don't remember 3 months ago seeing all these clips with that particular act that you're describing. Over the past 3 weeks, over the past month, I'm seeing a ton of that.
I mean, it's okay for a woman to have a giant chest and do the normal things that women do. They don't have to do that every time.
And the normal things that women do, huh?
Well, in the adult videos, I think we know what they are, but...
Again.
So you're saying this is abnormal?
I am saying it's a little abnormal, yes. I don't think people do that. I think 1% of the time people engage in that. That's kind of a stupid drunk thing. No one does that. And the women always looks like she's really into it, but it can't feel good. It's probably similar to her watching it with a bar of soap. I mean, big deal.
I don't think it necessarily feels bad, but the way they're reacting, you would think that they're getting the same kind of pleasure out of that as they get from standard sex, and that just can't be the reality, right or wrong, Terry? I mean, you got some...
I don't think in between the boobs is an erogenous zone. No, not fooling anybody.
Oh, I can't believe my G-spot was there all the time.
Right. Stupid. Bugs me.
Terry?
Yes?
I mean, I'm sure in your old days when you were the flat-chested wonder that you were, it was almost impossible, if not, in fact, impossible to not only get any pleasure out of that, but to do it all together. But now that you have these newly altered and adjusted and invigorated and augmented breastal region that you have there, Terry, I'm sure you've incorporated that into your newfound sex life?
No, not newfound sex life or anything like that, because the breasties are not newfound. They've been here for quite a while.
All right, you've had it for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Or so.
Right.
Wonderful. Are you telling me that this is something you've done over the past 10 years? I'm sure it is. Right or wrong?
I don't know if I ever have, quite honestly. I don't think so.
You ever gotten Terry screwed? You would know if you have, Terry.
Well,
yes or no?
I mean,
that's what we're talking about.
I don't think so. I don't think...
You don't think so? Either you have or you haven't.
No, I haven't.
You get so drunk all the time you don't remember a damn thing or what?
No, I haven't.
You're not a huge drinker, so I don't think that's in play, that you have memory loss.
I have not.
So either you have or you haven't. You've never had any man, especially now that you're married over the past 5 or so years, or however long you've been married, you've never had any man do that to you.
No.
So you can't really respond as to why these women are going so crazy and moaning so wildly when a guy is thrusting in between her boob situation.
Well, isn't it a big turn on for men? That's probably why.
We're not talking about the men. We're talking about the way women are reacting. Why are women going so off on pretending like it's so just outrageously satisfying.
And I just told you because obviously it turns on the man. So they like to make sure that the man stays turned on. And
there's a look that women have when they realize they're turning on a man, and that is certainly something that gets them off. But this is not that. This is them giving you the impression that they are getting some great sensation out of this situation, and no man can actually say, unless he's got man boobs, that and he's a homosexual, that he's ever felt the sensation that only women can respond. You, I was hoping, could be one that could tell us whether there's something to them acting all like they're just getting unbelievable heights of pleasure out of this particular act, and we're wondering why they're acting like. Who do they think they're fooling? It can't be that great.
Don't placate me. I see through your facade, your charade.
Well, obviously you don't, because you're.
But you can't answer any more than we can, is what you're saying, because this has never been done to you.
That is something that I don't ever think I've ever.
All the things that have been done to you, this is one thing that has never been done to you. Were you concerned because you had new boobies that you were going to break them, that you were going to hurt them, harm them, and that's why you were a little bit paranoid that you finally had boobs, you didn't want to ruin them? Is that why you've never allowed any man access, or you just it's just never happened? Has it ever been suggested to you and you turned it down, or what?
I mean, it's
you
never
got some
been
big ones now, Terry.
I understand that.
Definitely could do them.
But it's just never been brought up or asked.
All right, will you report back to us in the morning and do your little homework assignment, or what?
No.
Okay.
Because then, from a woman's perspective, there is no turn on for me.
Well, you don't know that if you haven't tried it, Terry. All right?
Well,
let me go to the phones. I got every phone line taken right now, so obviously we're not going to get any calls reacting to this. But if I take some calls and move along, maybe we'll get some calls verifying as to why women are acting as if it's the greatest height of sexual pleasure to have a man do this kind of thing, at least on the clips that have been circulating through the internet world. 1-8, because we're very curious. 1-866-663-T-Man. Let me start with David. You're on the air, David. What's up, buddy?
Hey, T-Man, I got a relationship problem for you.
Well, I'm glad you called, because you know there's only one person who could solve it for you, and he does it free of charge. Now, remind me who that person is.
What was that?
That person is me. But go ahead, David. Yes, what's your problem?
I got a girlfriend of 5 years, and...
Is that her age, or that's how long you've been going out? Okay.
We've been living together for 5 years.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
And, great girl, definitely the one I could see myself with, white picket fence, the whole thing, the whole nines, but, I mean, just the edge isn't there for me, and I've always had a woman on the side, and I currently have a girl right now that I think I'm falling for, and I can't pick between the two, and it's actually...
Well, if you've been in a relationship 5 years and you haven't been inspired to really move it to any kind of next level, that tells me it's a stagnant, stalled-out relationship, and you're just going through the motions, and when you're with someone 5 years and you haven't gotten engaged or even thought about it, there's probably some baggage that's built up, and I would just, in a knee-jerk reactional way, tell you to move it along to the next girl, and if this next girl has got you that engulfed and just thinking about her all the time, I would say go that direction. And I don't have time to get much more into it because I need the phone line. 1-866-663-T-Man. Let me go to Matt real quick. Yes, Matt, what's up?
Hi, I had a comment about Mariah Carey and her violation.
Nobody should be with anyone for 5 years without taking it to other levels, Terry, and just be boyfriend and girlfriend for 5 years. There's no reason for that. You understand, right?
I do.
Go ahead, Matt, real quick. What do you got?
I was going to say that I think that it has to do with media involvement, feeling violated from the media and kind of smothering her. That's my whole comment.
All right. Well, thank you for your whole comment.
What?
I appreciate your whole comment.
Well, what do you think of it?
What do I think of your comment?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do I really have to think?
T-Man only gave you two options, really.
Yeah, I gave you two options. I didn't really listen that closely to what your comment was, but I thank you for it. 1-866-663-T-Man. Let me go to John. John, you have made it on the air. Good morning.
How's it going, T-Man?
How are you, sir?
If you go on Bossip.com, there's a bunch of pictures of Mariah Carey hanging out with Brat, and there's a couple pictures of Brat looking really protective of her.
The brat, you mean?
The brat?
The brat.
The brat.
The brat.
So you're suggesting that might be evidence to her having a interest in ladies that she's never really come clean about after all these years.
That's the one.
Because that was option A, or was that option B, Terry? I can't remember. That was option A, right?
A, yes.
Option A, when she responded by saying, well, I've never been interested in having kids because I never wanted to be violated. That was option A.
Right.
That all along, and I think given certain personality traits, it's not the weirdest little image to conjure up that Mariah Carey is a lesbian, Terry. I mean, if we think Alicia Keys may be a lesbian, there's no reason to think that Mariah Carey doesn't have some certain personality traits that can't be construed as anything but a little bit suspect as far as her sexuality interests.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, thanks for the call, John. 1-866-663-TEAM is the number to call. Let me go to Drunken Girl Snatcher. Yes, Drunken Girl Snatcher, you're on the air. Hello.
How's it going, T-Man?
Pretty good, bud. What's up?
Not much today. I was calling to tell you about my my little story about spring break and drunken college girls and losing my virginity.
Are you trying to, like, walk down memory lane? How far removed are you from the spring break situation? How old are you now?
I am 23.
Because there's nothing more pathetic than a guy who loves to tell his old stories, walking down memory lane, Terry, about how big time he had it when he was in high school and college and wants to relive the moment. There's nothing more pathetic than hearing stories like that. I hope you're aware of Drunken Girl Snatcher.
Great story, though. Don't be mad because
well, then let's hear it.
Wow.
Go ahead, by all means. Let me hear the great story.
Don't be mad, T-Man. You're going to be so jealous, I'm sure.
Go ahead, Drunken Girl Snatcher. Let me hear the story in, like, 5 seconds or less.
All right, so look, I'm a junior in high school. We go to the club. I'm 17. I'm with my boys. I see two girls. One of the girls has a friend with them, a guy friend. The other girl's had a few drinks. She's lonely, so I go in for the kill, right?
As only Drunken Girl Snatcher can do,
I start
yes.
talking to her and whatnot. We start dancing. She keeps drinking. And then before you know, we're in the dance club. We're dancing, making out in the corner by the fog machine so nobody can see us. And then before you know it, her hands
You took her behind the fog machine? Great move by the Drunken Girl Snatcher, Terry.
By the fog machine. By the fog machine. Look,
I heard you.
By the what?
All right, so we're making
by
out.
By the fog machine.
Oh, got it.
So we're making out.
You're making out behind the fog machine, yes.
And then her hands on my pants, my hands up her skirt. Before you know it, my friend is giving us a ride back to her hotel. On the way to the hotel, you know, I'm giving her a little bit of finger loving.
All right.
Oh, wow. That's not the KFC motto, no.
And then we get to the hotel room, and then...
Why are you telling this story so many years later, Drunken Girl Snatcher? Why is it so important that because Terry brought up a statistic about spring break, you had to tell us this story that happened years ago?
Yes, and why are you being a hater?
You've had no stories that you are happy and proud about over the past number of years? You have to go way back to when you were in high school to tell us about a story? I'm sorry, if that makes me a hater, I just told you that guys who tell stories 5, 7 years after the fact about something that happened to them, it's pretty pathetic, Drunken Girl Snatcher, I gotta admit. I'm not impressed about a story that happened to you 6 years ago. I can tell you stories that happened to me 6 years ago.
That was when I was in high school, though. That was when I was in high school. What can I do, you know?
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing every detail of a story that happened to you 6 years ago behind a fog machine. I really loved it. Drunken Girl Snatcher, please call back again soon, and maybe you can update us about what happened senior year of high school.
All right.
During that call, okay?
One time I was making out with a girl behind Red Lobster.
Take care, Drunken Girl Snatcher. Appreciate the call. Man. Guys can be such pathetic losers, Terry.
You think?
Oh, I want to tell you about the story that happened to me 6 years ago. If it happened last week, okay, then it's worth telling and doesn't necessarily reek of you trying to be any kind of showboat or whatever, and it's not pathetic necessarily. But if you're giving us every detail of a story that happened 7 years ago,
yeah.
Save it. Yeah, sorry ass. No. 1-866-663-TMAN. Damon, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes. You guys were wondering about the big-breasted love, right?
I guess we were speculating, yes.
Yeah, you guys were wondering about the big-breasted lovin' that you see.
Yeah, there seems to be a trend. There seems to be a little theme going on, and it's not just the fact that it's happening, this particular act, all the time on certain clips that we tend to be interested in watching, or some not as interested in as others.
Well, I don't know how this became such a trend recently.
But it's not the trend that we're necessarily interested in. It's the reaction to the act. Why are women acting as if there's like a G-spot hanging around in that area? Why are women pretending like they're getting so off on this?
I'll tell you, my wife and I participate in this for the past 10 years. She's 40F.
Wow.
Big Nat. 40F? Yeah.
You got a 40F breasted wife?
Yes.
You ever take them behind a fog machine?
Oh, works every time. Chicks love it.
She's going to be donating some here pretty soon.
Even the fog can't hide those big boobies.
Right.
All right, so what do you have to tell us? How can you enlighten us?
So from her perspective, I've often asked her, every month when she hits that time, I say, hey, look, why don't we just try this out? And for 10 years, it's worked.
What an alternative.
I guess so.
Brilliant. What's the enjoyment for you? And she says, well, the perspective, for one.
It's a different view. So perspective, you mean a different angle at which she can view you at. Is that right?
From the angle, yeah.
I think it's safe to say no woman is excited by seeing me sitting on top of her chest.
I'm not all for that.
So we would venture to guess that you're not the 300-pounder that Hotshot Scott is. Is that right, Damon, or what? How big are you? How much do you weigh? How tall? What's your height and weight? Give us the tail of the tape.
5'6", 160.
The tail of the tape.
So you're the size of girls I used to date.
So you're the size of VTP?
Right.
You're the smaller size girl.
Right. I'm a smaller guy. I'm 5'6", 160. She's about 5'7", maybe 175.
So your wife is taller than you and outweighs you.
Outweighs me, that's right.
But a lot of that weight is the triple Fs, or what did he say? Were they?
Yeah.
40 F.
40 Fs.
40 Fs.
40 Fs, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's busting at the seams. But, the thing is...
All right, so she gets off on the perspective and the angle. We get it, and it's an alternative to get her through the 5 days. Yvette, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think it's like it turns me on when I have sex and they do that. It does turn me on because my breast is that's my spot.
Okay, but there's a difference. You tell me what the turn-on true definition you're talking about really is, because there's a difference between a woman being turned on knowing that she's seeing the man that she's with going through unbelievable levels of ecstasy, all right? Every woman that I have ever loved, Terry, very much has this appreciation that she gets, and that could lead to a lot of moaning sounds, whatever. And there's a total difference that we're able to separate between a woman acting as if she herself is going through unbelievable levels of physical pleasure herself.
Right.
But anytime you're in a moment, you're going to go through, regardless of what.
But I'm telling you that in watching these clips, it's not the first scenario I'm describing to you where it's a woman just getting excited that she's seeing her man excited. It's the second scenario that she looks like she's getting off on it for her own physical benefit. Now, why should that be when it's just as it was suggested, a bar of soap could do the same thing? So why is she acting as if it's such a big deal?
Okay, I don't know about the bar of soap thing, but I think that...
Well, maybe it should.
I think that it could be.
Well, if it's Irish Spring, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, it wakes me up. It's like ghost.
I think that it could set something off, though. I mean, because I'm a breast person. I like when people touch my breast, so if...
Yeah, but there are no erogenous zones of any major magnitude that would make women be acting like... So they're obviously faking. That's what it comes down to. They're just, in these clips, they're actresses in large part. The answer is, T-Man, these are all professionals. Some amateur clips, I'm sure a lot of people like to watch. But these are mostly professionals that you see on these sites. And they're just trying to get in the moment because that's what they're being paid to do. Is that the answer we're looking for?
Yes.
Or what?
Whenever I see it, I have to fast forward it, usually with my left hand. But
So
bugs me.
So there you go with the...
It bugs you that much that you can't even sit through it?
No, I fast forward it.
Because even though I'm telling you I see this all the time over the past number of weeks as well, it doesn't really last longer than like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I don't need it.
You can't handle it.
Skip on by it. Get to the good stuff.
To the good stuff.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
I think
conversation bothering you, Terry?
I think I just heard my wife's car pull up, so really hurry here, please.
Is this conversation a little bit awkward for you, Terry? I mean, we're just
it's the whole porn thing. I still, every time you guys talk about it, I was just telling you about the false expectations.
You're the one who got the balls rolling on discussing because of your New York Magazine article.
But you guys take it, well and beyond the article, obviously.
Well,
but the article, actually, coming back to it, rings true. You have these false expectations that you see these porn chicks loving the whole situations on the breasties, and
so
it's not true.
Any guy who puts his dilly between his girlfriend's in his girlfriend's chest is going to be wondering why she's not getting the great amounts of sexual pleasure that he sees on his favorite porn site. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
It all ties into your New York Magazine.
That's what I just said.
Is.
That's what I just said.
You mean you don't love my naked undercarriage rubbing up and down on your sternum? Jeez, that's weird. Thought you loved it.
I can find 6 girls on this site on the first page that will. Right. So get the hell out.
Kanye West is back on the market. His now former fiancée of a year and a half, Alexis Pfeiffer, confirmed the news to People.com, saying, quote, "We remain friends." The two have reportedly...
Yep, that means she's pissed. Mm-hmm. Can you blame her? She was engaged to him for a year and a half. They had been a couple for 7 years. But the reality is she has nobody to blame but herself.
Oh, jeez.
7-year relationship. What does she expect? If you're in a 7-year relationship and then the dude breaks it off with you, Terry, or vice versa, then you have no one to blame with yourself. Because as I said, relationships have to either go to the next level or be called off after 2 years. Figure out which one.
Right.
If you can't figure it out, then you're in a stagnant relationship and you have no one to blame but yourself when it implodes on you. We're just friends. Obviously, she's biting her tongue. She'd love to go off on the guy, but she knows it's not in her best interest.
Fiancée of a year and a half, Alexis Pfeiffer, confirmed the news to People.com, saying, quote, "We remain friends." The two have reportedly been spending less and less time together since the rapper embarked on a nationwide tour. A rep for Kanye had no comment.
Gotta feel bad for her a little bit, Terry.
Yeah.
But not really at all, as I just said, because she allowed herself to get into the stagnant relationship.
Well,
1-866-663-T-MAN is the number to call.
She went from winning the lottery to Match.com.
Let me see. A little bit of a transition that has to be made there, you think? Yes. Let me see who's been waiting a while here. Let me go to, I promised a lot of calls, Terry. 1-866-663-T-MAN. Let me go to Michelle. You're on the air, Michelle, in San Jose. A lot of San Jose people up and very happy this morning, Terry. Their Sharks are moving on to the next round of the NHL playoffs. Yes, Michelle.
Hi, how are you this morning?
How you doing, baby?
I'm better now that I'm talking to you.
Is that See how little it takes, Terry?
Do you want us to leave, T-Man?
Yeah.
Michelle, what's the deal with your phone? It's kind of difficult
to... Is it bad? Hold on, let me... Can you hear me better?
Yeah,
there you go.
Is that better?
Oh, much better, yes.
Okay, I have my Bluetooth on.
What's going on? What's going on?
I was calling about that porn clip thing you all were talking about the other day.
Yes.
And I'm calling from...
Terry started it. Yes, Terry had it all.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
Yes, and I couldn't help but respond to Hopscotch when he said that he's been noticing too many scenes on the sites that he goes to of this particular activity when a guy will insert in between his girl's chestal region. And I'm saying that this must be the big, hot, not that it's anything new, but the new, hot kind of trend, because I'm seeing it in just about every scene. Medium-sized boobs, big boobs, whatever the case may be. And that's the thing about pornography as it stands today. It's not like the old 90s or the 80s with Vivid Video making a movie and it takes a year for it to be edited and it comes out months after it's shot. I have a feeling these clips you see on the internet now were shot with a handheld camera and were done the day before that you see it up there on the site. So the things you see are very much the trends that are in at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the truth, Terry. These things are shot a day before they go up on the internet.
Really?
Yes, no doubt about it.
All right.
That's why sites like YouPorn are so popular, because people like the whole homemade feel, like it's real life, and it just happened. That's why it appeals to people so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, but I used to all-time porn, and they always told us to really play up.
Whoa. Show, wait a minute. You said you used to do... I'm slamming the brakes.
Yeah.
You used to do small-time porn? Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah.
Does that mean like porn in your area for low budget, even considering most of the porn world is low budget, even lower budget than the average porn kind of situation, or what?
Yeah, kind of.
So just like two guys calling you over and filming something in their garage, is pretty much...
It wasn't quite that bad.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Shut me down.
Right.
That was harsh.
So what do you know based on your experience?
Well, they always told us to really play up the response.
Well, that seems
that
pretty
kind of
obvious.
Because it's more of a turn on for the viewer. Like, obviously, it's not really much for us. Like, okay, wow, great, we get to see our man get all excited, whatever.
So then there's our answer. So if any guy is expecting to do exactly what he's been seeing as far as this particular trend that I'm talking about, and expecting his woman to be acting as if she's in the unbelievable throes of ecstasy, you can think again, because obviously, physically...
Unless you are truly dedicated to your man and you are only doing it strictly for him, which I guarantee you 90% of women are not like that.
Yeah, but that would be fake. There's nothing physical that would make you react in that kind of unbelievable, over-the-top type fashion.
Personally, or anybody I know. I'm sure there might be some girl out there who's got some crazy spot.
Well, there's one girl.
Yeah, but you've had it done to you like 1,000 times or more, and it's never felt that great.
Not quite that many. Not quite that many. No, but
she's got a little ravine.
I have done it. And it's great, woohoo, yeah.
It doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel bad, but it doesn't really feel that good, or does it feel kind of good? But I mean, how?
It's really, I could live with or live without it. It's not something where I'm like, okay, we get to do that next. I'm super excited. Or
it seems like it shouldn't really do anything for you, unless it's just something mental. It doesn't seem like physically it really should do anything for you, and that's pretty much the case, or what?
Not anything. Haha, very funny.
Wow. She didn't like that.
What?
Yeah, put it out there.
What did I say?
That's not the case, he said.
I know, but she...
Yes,
okay,
what? I'm confused.
Me too.
But Terry seems to get it. When something doesn't make sense, Terry's all over it.
Oh,
anyway.
That was not nice to you, man.
All right, Michelle, whatever. Thanks for the call. I got a garage. I got a camera.
Do you?
See you later.
All right. Small time for garage camera. It's all in.
Hey, move the gas can, dude. Can't see.
What about the edger? Can we utilize it?
The edger?
Yeah. Don't you have an edger? Oh, that's right. You don't do your lawn.
A landscaping edger?
So foreign, I know.
Is that what it takes to get you hot, Terry? All right, John,
you're
on the air. Hello.
Garage.
He at least sounds busy. Let me go to Rocky. Rocky, you're on the air. Hello, Rocky.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Rocky?
How's it going?
Pretty good. What can I do for you real quick?
Oh, man, I just want to talk about how internet relationships suck and how I was in one for 5 years with somebody that wasn't really them.
So you were duped for 5 years as far as who the real status of the person that you were supposedly meeting online for 5 years they had you fooled?
Yeah, I never got to meet them either. It was crazy. And I was talking to them on the phone, and they'd be whispering and stuff.
Well, why would you allow that to go on for 5 years? After 5 days, if I wasn't able to meet the person, I would get frustrated and move on to somebody else. Why are you allowing an online dating relationship go on for 5 years, and she's got legitimate excuses for 5 years as to why she can't meet up?
Yeah, man, they kept on postponing it and saying that they was going to meet me at some place, and then I'd go there and try to meet them, but they wouldn't even come and see me, and it was crazy, man.
Like trying to figure out the Bermuda Triangle, Terry. Every time he tried to solve the riddle of this girl that he knew from online, she would...
Yeah, I mean, I figured it out. It took me a long while because I kind of had a feeling it wasn't the person that she was claiming to be.
So does internet dating, is your opinion on internet dating that it sucks, yes or no?
It sucks.
You are down on internet dating?
Well, you got to meet the person for sure. Make sure it's that person.
Are you done? Are you, based on this situation that you finally realized after 5 years was a waste of your time, are you done with internet dating? Are you back better than ever in the internet dating world? Which one is it?
Well, if I can get a girl online and actually meet her, that's fine. But
well, it'll probably take about 6 years.
What was that again?
I'll probably have to put in a 6-year investment to actually meet the girl. That's usually the going rate.
I have no idea. I think if you meet them first at the first, week or two...
Yeah, maybe that should be more of your standard. Maybe you should give him a week or two and not 5 years next time around. But a lesson learned, nonetheless. He won't be fooled by that same trick again.
No.
Right.
After 4 years, dude, something's fishy. What's the big draw for 5 years? What was keeping him coming back if you've never even seen her?
There came a point where he was too invested in it. He had to.
How are you invested, though?
He was too in deep. He had to keep trying to meet this girl. I know that feeling.
But 5 years?
Not for 5 years. No, I don't know that feeling for 5 years. I know that feeling for maybe a month.
Yeah, calling a girl at her job every day for a month is different than 5 years of never seeing somebody.
1-866-663-T-Man. Back after these words.
T-Man Show.